22nd of August. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. Yeah, sure I can hear it. Hold on. Well, morning. I'll do it again. It's Tuesday, the 22nd of August. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. This is why my camera looked weird, because I usually have this in front of me. I am one of your hosts, your lovely host today, my royalty.
It's your boy Big Man Youth, King of the Mods. Good morning.
Not King of the Mods. Oh, you just reminded me.
What happened?
To change my name. Sorry, carry on as well. Sorry, made a scene.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer, news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right. How's everyone doing this lovely morning?
Cool. Can I point something out?
Wish you can, please.
Did you get bullied into putting your hat on?
No, not at all. You know, yesterday.
You had a hat on
as
yesterday.
Nah, you know what yesterday.
Oh, no, but he had it on the
I bring it with me every day, innit?
Fresh trim, no? You don't want to...
You know what? You're right.
Because it feels like, to me, you've been under... You know what I mean? You've been put under duress to put your hat back on.
No.
All right. Just looking out for your best interests. So,
Trust me. Man, we can't let them win, man.
Impossible.
Right, how's everyone doing this lovely morning?
Yeah, same old. Yeah? Need no sleep. What about you? I don't think you got out of bed yet, no?
There we go, my name's changed. Sorry?
I said, you ain't look like you ain't got out of bed
Oh,
yet.
because I got my blanket. Yeah, I found it the other day and I thought, oh, this is so comforting.
No, not just blankets. You're wearing pajamas, no?
Don't be silly. These are fashion. You don't know fashion?
Those aren't pajamas.
No.
You're not wearing full set of pajamas right now?
No, I'm wearing a crop top and thingy. They're just
Oh.
leg jogger.
You know what it is? Those joggers plus that top plus the blanket
Yes, no.
just looks like pajamas.
I like comfort. I'm a comfort babe. No. It's wide leg tie dye joggers.
Okay.
People can't see it, but it's from ASOS basically. But yeah, how's everyone doing?
All good, you know. Can't complain.
Oh, I need to put someone on timeout. My bad.
Oh, Spanning Princess. That's your...
Spanner Princess
That's your new
in the
name, yeah.
building. That is my. As you guys can tell, my spanner is still here. You'll be glad to know that clearly I wasn't fired or had a word with, so that was good. That was fantastic.
Someone asked you to turn around.
You must. Oh, it's Tracy. If a man asked me to turn around, I'll turn around. I'm joking, Tracy. I'm not a turn around girl, you know. Like I'm actually not. Like I know that there is a thing. There's a trend with the girls wanting to show their assets and whatnot. But I find it awkward. Like when I'm taking pictures and stuff. Like I'm more of a, when you see me in real life, you kind of gauge my situation. That's my vibe. I like to surprise people, you know. Don't know what you're expecting. Like a unicorn. But yes, that is me in the chat, Spanner Princess. I am loving this. Because I think this week, why not come back again when this week is done? So that's great. All right, question of the day. We've got two. Are we doing two?
The second question, we've done that already.
Oh, my bad.
Have we? I feel like we've done the first one.
We've done the second one for sure.
I've definitely spoken about
We've done the first one too.
We've done both of them. This is poor.
Bard.
This is poor.
Bard, lucky he's not in the chat.
There's a million questions in the world.
I would have timed his ass out. Now, honestly, the chat looks so beautiful, all these pictures, man. Y'all are just, this is lovely, man.
All right, so what is the song that always makes you feel motivated? That's a different one.
What is a song that makes you feel motivated?
Yeah, that always makes you feel motivated.
I've got different songs for different moods, you know.
You know, I don't listen to music for motivation, you know.
Yeah, same, not really. No.
Sorry, super chat again.
Huh?
Chims is back. Esther, he's on your neck. Esther,
Yo.
Esther. He sent you 199 and said, Esther, don't be shy. Turn around, though. I think, yo, Chims, send 999. I think we'll
We're
get...
giving 10 around from 999, you said.
It's easy work, man.
999!
All right, cool. 1599.
The heck?
1599.
This is ridiculous. My body is still, actually no. The cheeks be sitting. But that's not the point. This is my place to work, people, so please act right. It depends what I need motivation for. I have different songs for different moods.
Yeah.
Let me walk you through them. Okay. So when I'm in the gym, say I need like that extra oomph. Like, do you know what I mean? I just need to go hard in the gym one day. I'm listening to one of the girls.
Okay.
Like I'm putting out a Cardi or Megan Thee Stallion. Like I'm putting out one of the girls' songs that gets me pumped and hyped and let's do this. If it's a case of sadness, heartbreak and such, Beyonce's Best Thing I Never Had is my favorite Beyonce song.
Okay.
But that always resets me. Like I'm back to earth. Is it really a loss? Do you know what I mean? But if I'm feeling on my bad B, I don't really care anyway. What am I doing? What do you do this for? Tony Braxton, He Wasn't Man Enough. That gets me in a good mood
still.
every time. That song just does wonders.
You know what song uplifts me? Not particularly motivates me, but uplifts me. The Sister Act version of Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, but sometimes I go and listen to the originals.
Okay.
There's a couple versions out there.
Okay.
But that song.
That is a mood lifter. That is a mood lifter.
Yeah, I love it still.
I love songs that just lift your mood.
I'm trying to think, I think like you said, it depends. But I can't hear myself,
Is your thing in
I'm not too sure.
that bit? No, under the mic.
Yep. Just seems low. Yeah, that's better.
Is it only now you're starting to hear yourself?
Yeah.
Only now, so before you went?
Not really, no. It seemed low, but I could hear something.
Man,
But
you
it just
said
seemed low.
something, man. I mean, you were saying that you could hear Esther.
Yeah, but we thought we needed a reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody said anything, so they must have been able to hear me. But anyway, Hate Me Now. Hate Me Now. As in Nas. Nas Hate Me Now.
Because I was thinking about The Game and Mary J. Blige.
No.
What was their song called? It's not Hate Me Now.
The Game. Are you talking about?
I can't remember.
You're talking about Game and Keisha Cole.
Nah, The Game and Mary J. Blige.
The Game.
Hate or Love
Mary
It?
J. Blige. That ain't Mary J. Blige.
and
That's
50.
50 Cent.
Wow.
Oh no, there's a remix version.
You missed-
Mary J.
Yeah,
Blige though.
there's a remix.
That's
with
yeah,
Mary.
but no one knows
Yeah.
the remix.
I like
Yeah.
Auntie's one. Auntie's one slaps.
In the gym. Well, the last time I was in the gym. Outside. You heard Outside by Westside Boogie, and featuring Joey. Yeah, man. That tune is big. But you know what? Sometimes, I need visuals for motivation.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, there's been certain
Clarify that.
times. Huh?
To clarify that. This is how we talk about cheeks all morning.
No, this is wholesome.
Lovely.
The Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti fight.
Okay.
It's round 9 of that fight. Yeah.
Okay.
That will make you never give up. If you
Do
watch
you know what? I
that.
hear it. I actually hear it. Because there was a time I was at the gym and I started running.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really for pro running because I just think only the wicked run when there's no one chasing them. And my heart is clean. However, that was around the time Beyonce's Homecoming, Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I was running for an hour
Okay.
I'm saying.
straight. Because it just motivates you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just seeing her working now, performing, doing all that stuff. I said, let's keep going.
I think the only visuals I've ever used for motivation is the training scene from Rocky 3, Apollo Creed, and Rocky on the beach. Is that from Rocky 3? Or, I think from
Is
Rocky
that 2?
3.
I think it's 2.
2 or 3. When they're on the beach, gym
Oh,
on the
what,
beach,
together?
running. Yeah, together.
On the same team.
Yeah,
3. That's 3.
3. Yeah. That's I've used that for motivation sometimes back in the day.
Yeah.
Brent, what about you?
Man.
Rap niggas.
Excuse me.
What's that, man? Oh, what?
Nipsey, man.
Who?
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey. Okay.
It's got the right amount of niggas in it.
It's the right amount of niggas. Okay, well, is that it then?
Yeah.
Lovely. All right, let's get into our headlines.
All right, so our first headline, Nadine Dorries, she's back in the news, and she's under increasing pressure to step down as an MP after a second council in her constituency called for her immediate departure. The former culture secretary said she would resign from representing her mid-Bedfordshire constituency with immediate effect in early June, when Boris Johnson stood down as an MP and she failed to secure a peerage. But more than 2 months later, Dorries has not tendered her resignation. She continues to draw an MP's salary. Explaining her actions, Dorries said she was waiting for an explanation as to why her nomination for a peerage by Mr. Johnson was blocked. Sheffield Town Council has joined Flitwick Town Council in expressing frustration of what they see as a continuing lack of representation. It follows Rishi Sunak's rare attack, labelling Dorries as an absentee MP who is not properly representing her constituents. In a letter published on Twitter, now known as X, on Thursday, Sheffield Council raised concerns about her scant interest in the constituency, which has left the town abandoned by their MP. And the next headline, trigger warning here, big trigger warning here, guys. And this is what's going to kind of lead into our topic of the day. And this is about Lucy Letby. So for those who are unaware, Lucy Letby will die in prison after being handed 14 whole life orders for murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 6 others while working on the hospital's neonatal unit. The judge imposed a whole life order for each offence she committed, meaning she will spend the rest of her life in prison unless under very exceptional circumstances. She faced 7 murder charges and 7 counts of attempted murder because she tried to kill one of the babies twice. Imagine. Letby, who's 33, did not appear in court for her sentencing, something which has now renewed calls for a law forcing criminals to face justice in person. The mother of one of the babies murdered by Letby said that her decision to not appear was one final act of wickedness from a coward. Lawyers for another family told Sky News it was a scandal that Letby was not in the dock for sentencing, adding that it makes a mockery of the justice system and that she should have been dragged to court to face them. Mr. Justice Goss told Manchester Crown Court during sentencing there was premeditation, calculation and cunning in your actions. He said that Letby relished being in the intensive care unit where she took an interest in uncommon complications and targeted twins and triplets. And that's it for the headlines.
Do you know what though? No, actually, let's get into our other thing. Sorry. Let's get into what you say in topic of the day.
All right, people. So today's topic of the day, like I just said, is linked to this, I'll be polite for now, this woman by the name of Lucy Letby. As you guys know, and like I just mentioned, she was given 14, right? Whole life orders for murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 6 others as well. Obviously, she was given 7 for basically attempted because she went back, like I just mentioned, to try and kill another baby twice. Well, one of those babies twice. So she's also known now pretty much as probably the worst serial killer as it pertains to children that this country's ever known, right? And so it brings back the question of capital punishment. Is this crime, well, the crimes she's committed, are they so heinous? Are they so disgusting? Are they so vile that perhaps as a society we should reconsider bringing back capital punishment?
Yeah, it needs to be one of those things where we pull out the bag for special occasions. I mean, just the special ones. This is a special one.
I was going to ask, is that a trick question?
Because how can you try and kill a baby twice?
Right.
Did work the first time, you went back for seconds.
So for me, this is not even a question. It's not.
Like without a doubt. Like
it's not even a
no
question.
judge, no jury.
Not
Receipts
at
have
all.
said what they've said. Let's go.
I don't think it's even a conversation for me. It's a yes.
But I want people to suffer though, because I feel like death penalty sometimes it's a cop out. You should suffer because some things people do to people. You deserve to actually
I
like
agree with it.
suffer,
I agree with that as well, actually.
be in pain continuously, and actually be pleading for death. And then at the point of pleading for death, they're like, no, you're not allowed that. You're not allowed the grace of death.
So does that look like what they're getting now in terms of like long life sentences or like torture, basically?
Because my mind, being in prison, obviously I've never been in prison, I would never be there. God
Amen.
forbid. But after a while, you adjust to your environment. So now it's just like you're in boarding school with your friends. Do you know what I mean? It's just you haven't got the freedom outside, but you start to find comfort in your new circumstance, and your brain is wired to like the fact that, okay, this is what I'm doing. Especially if someone who's sentenced for life. It's just interesting now for you to just see people that come in, go out, learn people's stories. Like she can have a whale of a time in there. But what I need them to do though is not put her in solitary. She needs to be like out in Gen Pop. And also like what they need to do, maybe like tattoo baby killer on her head or something like that. So people know what she's done. So that every time you come across someone, like I need her to wake up every single day and be jumped. Every single day without fail. Like she does not want to wake up the next day because she knows a beating is coming. That's what she deserves. Every single day Like, and she doesn't want to come off her cell, but they're like, no, you have to come off your cell. You have to receive these beatings today.
Is that potentially dangerous though? Are we
No.
are we kind of, not for her necessarily, but more so just the justice system and how we allow people who we've rendered as criminals that we're, punishing
Yeah.
to then do more criminal acts?
Nah.
Because it's taking the law into their own hands.
They've already got it in them. That's why they're there. Do you know what I mean? So all we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
we're just helping people's talents. But again, it's special occasions.
Okay.
It's for pedophiles. It's for baby killers.
Mm.
It's certain gruesome crimes, and they're the ones who have to walk around the prison yard with a sign that says what they did, and so that everyone can just have at it whenever they feel like it. Because I can imagine being in prison is very frustrating. They don't get to have sex. They don't get to gym the way they want. Like, they have they just must have a lot of frustrations. And so, unfortunately, some people that commit very gruesome crimes, and you get to be people's punching bag. People get to release a bit of frustration out on you. One slap a day. Do you know what I mean? And we give it to the good behavior prisoners.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So they get to really. It's an incentive because you don't get to kill people's children and have an easy life. You don't. Like, I'm so impressed and so shocked that she got the sentence she got. Like, I'm shocked.
What's the sentence? Sorry.
So she's got life and she's
Okay.
never allowed parole.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's gonna die there.
And are you
I'm
shocked
shocked
by
by
that?
that.
Why?
Because of the justice system in this country. Because I gave the example yesterday about the girl who killed her boyfriend,
Yeah.
and the judge said he didn't want to ruin her life, so he didn't sentence her.
Oh.
And she killed someone. She killed a person. So because of the way the justice system is set up, especially when it relates to whiteness, we don't want to admit it, but there is some privileges there.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I'm shocked by that. We've had people that have been done very horrendous, like very crazy crimes, and they're allowed parole like after a certain amount of time. And in this country as well, certain crimes, they'll be like, oh, you got 10 years,
Yeah.
but they're out after 3 years.
I think 'cause this is babies and this is multiple babies,
Yeah.
and the other case was just a singular man.
But when I think about it though, James Bulger and them, that was baby. He wasn't a baby, he was a toddler, he was a little kid. And those boys got released
Yep.
and got given new identities so they could be in society. We didn't even know who they were.
But that's because
It's wild.
they were kids.
Yeah, they were
But
kids too.
that's mad though, because for me, the way I see it, the fact that they're kids, is the more reason why I'm looking them away for longer. The fact that you can have such evil in your life and you ain't been through no stress. Who knows what could come of you when life actually brings you stress as an adult?
They probably did have certain. I don't want to give them excuses,
But, like,
their
certain
back
situations-
home, their back home environment may not have been great.
And obviously,
and-
with
I mean,
kids,
one of
at,
them is still back in. Is
with
back in
kids
prison,
at that
right?
age, you're looking at it more so from like a reform standpoint. If you're that young,
Yeah.
right?
You're
There's
hoping that you can.
there's still, I guess, in their eyes, a hope that you could change because you're only what? I'm not sure how old they were at the time.
They were like 10.
yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
or less
10
than.
years old.
So to put a 10-year-old in prison for life is crazy.
Should have done an exorcism.
It's crazy.
For what they did though,
You know what I'm trying to say? It's
they would
crazy.
have never seen light of day if I was the judge.
I don't think you can put a child in prison for life.
That's wild.
It doesn't
Should
even
be
make any,
able to.
it doesn't even make any sense.
Doesn't it?
It doesn't-
Because what they did was mad.
no, it was mad, but
Very mad.
it's a child at 10 in prison for life. How does that even work?
It does.
It doesn't
Put them in there and throw away the key.
work.
Because
And you can be a good person in prison.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work.
Be a pastor in prison.
I mean-
Convert to something and do your good deeds in there. Well, no,
So-
with Lucy anyway. Sorry, with Lucy. I'm very impressed by that. I did not think she was gonna get what she got.
yeah,
I didn't think she was gonna get off life. Actually, you never know. I didn't know. That's the honest truth. But the
thought-
fact that she's got life forever,
it's fantastic.
it's wonderful
It's
news.
fantastic.
I was so happy when I saw that.
But saying that though, like you said, right?
Yeah.
It would be in an ideal world, we'll be able to torture her, keep her alive every day until we're fed up, right? But given that she's got the 14 life sentences that we're pretty much happy about because that's the worst.
That's the worst.
That's the worst she can
Yeah.
possibly get, right?
Yeah.
And we know, like you just said, the justice system sometimes just be failing, right? But considering the amount of money that's going to go into keeping her alive, taxpayers' money.
I'm alright with that.
You sure?
Yeah, I am.
It's a lot of money though that
It
we're
is, but
wasting.
It is, but
The average
really
prisoner like her, sorry to cut
Yeah.
you, we're basically spending about £42,000 just to keep them in prison.
Who?
Someone like her, right?
What? You're talking about everyone individually or as
Yeah. That's what they say. On average, right?
or what?
A prisoner.
No, as in £40,000 per.
Per prisoner, yeah.
Okay.
Per prisoner.
But that's my thing though. Then get rid of all the people that had like little weed on them. Get them out.
Yeah.
Because she like I can't think of tax when it comes to her. She deserves that. Because the thing is, unfortunately, like we can't opt out of our taxes paid for prison. We can't opt out of it, and there's nothing like there's stuff going on right now where they're trying to get less people out of the prisons and more people out of the prisons and whatever else. That's fine. All the taxes in the world to keep her away because she's dangerous. She's a dangerous society because if she's not in prison, what's the other option?
We'll kill her.
But that's the thing though. She needs to suffer. Because the thing is because I feel like some people, certain criminals, dying is an easy escape. All the parents of those children, some of them may never be able to have kids again,
Yeah.
Some of those babies are probably miracle babies.
Yeah, the IV ones.
Do you get me?
But also, how do we know that her being in prison is her suffering? Because she's clearly psychotic.
She's
right? Like let's not,
act like
paint over the cracks here.
Yeah.
She's not well in the head. So someone with that mentality, someone with that psyche, they may not be in prison suffering. And people acclimatized to prison.
This is it.
Yeah.
And it just becomes their norm and their everyday, and it's fine by them. And remember, she's crazy.
Yeah.
She's not normal.
And you know
so
what?
the death penalty is probably the best option.
That's what I was gonna say though, because like I'm intrigued to know what is off in her brain, in her psychology, that made her do these things. Like what made her do it? I need to know that.
Do you know what the thing is? I sometimes think that way as well, but then I feel like it's good, but it's somewhat dangerous because eventually you're gonna arrive at a point where it's like there's a problem here, and that problem means it's a mental health issue, and because it's a mental health issue,
Oh no, I'm not giving you
you could
grace for that.
potentially put them in a mental health asylum.
No.
Do you get what I'm saying though?
No, we just want to know for vibes.
No.
I just want to know for the tea.
No. Being a psychotic serial killer, I'm not putting it under mental health now.
No.
I mean, there's varied degrees of mental
The poor
health.
people in
I
there
don't
tried
care.
crack one time and now
don't
they've
care.
lost it. You were born lost. Nope. Like that's the thing. So with her, and I'm an empath, but with her, I'm just intrigued. Whatever she says, I don't care whatever her situation was, whatever she's been through. None of that's gonna make me feel sorry for her.
Yeah. Because
Do you get what I
there isn't any justification
There's
for
no
this.
none.
There's no
None.
trauma you suffered as a
None.
child. There's no PTSD. There's
None.
nothing excuses this at all.
I didn't even know she tried to kill one baby twice.
Like,
Yeah.
what's your reasoning?
And twins, I think, was it like the triplets or twins? She got one, didn't get the other, so she doubled back.
She's the devil.
To get the other one.
Literally,
She
she's
actually
the
got the
devil.
She actually got the other
She
one.
got the other one.
She killed both babies.
She killed both. She's such an
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's mad.
It's mad. It's
Prison
mad.
is not enough. Prison's a vacation. It's a holiday.
But I don't know. Like, okay, you guys are pretty much saying, okay, you're pretty much saying, okay, you know what? Let's just say we're not going to torture her because this country.
Yeah, we can't.
We're
There's
not
human
gonna
rights
touch
and all that kind of
No,
crap.
no one's gonna get
No,
tortured.
no,
That's-
exactly. No.
yeah.
So if we're going to decide between whole life orders, which she's got, like we said, right, and capital punishment, are you still saying capital punishment for sure?
Yeah.
And you're saying whole life order, or you saying capital punishment?
Nah, because I honestly feel like death is an easy escape, man.
So you prefer the whole
I
life?
wanted to, yeah. I'd rather she was that.
What she got?
But then she's like, but she's not in, now she's not in Gen Pop though, because they can't slap her and stuff.
Yeah.
She's in isolation. For the rest of your life, it's just you and your psychotic thoughts.
Well, you'll be surprised though. They'll give a life sentence, and you'll hear about 20 years time. Oh, remember that woman who killed 7 babies? No, she's out. You know what happens, man. You know what happens.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But in this situation now, there'll be
We don't know.
there'll be a riot.
We don't know. Because we'll just never hear about her again.
Yeah, and then one day, she's out, right? It's like, swear down,
And
she's
there'll
out.
be a scandal. We'll go from
And then
she does something again. It's
you'll
like,
read
oh.
the thing, and there'll be a stipulation and
Yeah.
this and that.
She was ill,
Yeah,
cancer
yeah, yeah.
last 6 months.
Nah, let her
Bollocks.
die in there.
100%.
Whatever it is whatever illnesses she has in her life, there's no exception. She should never ever. She shouldn't be allowed outside for them 1 hour playground. She shouldn't be allowed anything.
Okay. I think
It's mad, man.
Brent, are the votes kind of interesting to you? So basically, so far, right?
I didn't see any voting here.
Yeah, there's a poll.
Oh.
You know what it is for me? Capital punishment is not enough as well, because you know the people whose baby she's killed, they have to live and grieve for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, she's destroyed multiple
For
families'
the
lives.
rest of their lives. Every single day, they wake up. That nursery they already planned out, the nursery they already designed, the changes in their lives they already made, announced it to the family and friends. Like every single every single day, every single anniversary, that baby's birthday, they're going to remember these things. When it's Christmas time and when they've seen their friends taking their kids to nursery, their kid would have been in nursery at this time. The kid would have been in primary school. This would have been our baby's first day in year 7. She cannot be killed off because she gets whatever she's done dies with her. Of course, she's gonna meet her almighty there as well. But she needs to suffer on earth and then go and meet her savior, who is the devil. Do you get what I mean? Like, people grief is so long and not linear, and grief is so long that the person who causes you that grief does not just get to have an easy escape and just die.
Yeah, I'm reading a comment from Lala. She goes that she actually started stalking the parents to see how they were grieving.
Yes.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Animal. She's an
She wanted to see what the effects of her actions had on them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Is this real?
The woman's a psychopath.
You see, this is why I'm saying that even the people that were told about what she was doing,
Yes.
told that Asian guy to apologize to her, they need to be punished too.
They need to be.
Facts. 100%.
They need to be. And I'm not talking about resigning your job. No. They need to be.
Morning.
Morning, caller.
Morning, it's Abby calling.
Morning, Abby.
I just wanted to put some perspective as well, because I agree with what you're saying. I actually happen to have worked with one of the victims in one of my workplaces in like 2020, and I didn't really know at the time. And then it was obviously like explained to me how on some days she couldn't finish the work days, how I could see it like obviously in her face, how she was just affected, like how her family was affected. And one of the days she actually invited me to her house. So I did know her, and she was, I could see how affected she just had been by this. Yeah. And I think what other people don't realize as well is how long this has been going on. Like I worked with her in 2020 through the lockdown and whatever, but this was 3 years ago. That was leading up to the trial. Now with the trial that has happened and everything else, I can't even imagine how she must be feeling. It's like, yes, you've got the sentencing, but you can never move on. You can never move past that. And since then, she's had actually another child, thankfully. But it's like, you can never forget about that. You can never.
So, Abby.
So I just feel like...
So I was going to ask you, so what, do you feel like capital punishment helps them to move on then? Is capital punishment the only way of really getting justice? A life for a life? True justice?
I think she's in prison where she should be. But I do think that, like Esther is saying, she should be suffering. I do hope that the prisoners over there get her, because how can you get away with so much? And also, I really want the directors of the hospital to be held accountable, because this would not have happened had you actually listened to the concern of the consultant. How dare you offering that lady? They obviously have said that after the fact that she had put a grievance, that they had to apologize to her. They offered her further studying for her master's, further education to be a specialized nurse. How can that happen? That is white privilege, essentially, but they never want to speak about it. They don't want to speak about it and look at what has happened. Yeah. There could have been lives that have been saved, things that had not happened, and knowing how internally it has impacted that sort of person. I just can't even, I can't even explain it. It was just mad. And even at the time, I was just like, we didn't really speak about it ever, because it was just like a subject where you don't really know what to say, do you? It's like, how can someone do something so evil? So I definitely feel like she's where she is, but I do hope that she's not going to be able to commit suicide, babe. I hope that she'll be suffering for the rest of her days. I hope that she will suffer for the rest of the days, because it's just not right. And they were saying on the trial how some of the families with children are forever, obviously, impacted. So it's like, how can people be forever impacted? Some of the children are disabled, and you're doing that kind of stuff because of you.
That's the thing. Like her getting to kill herself, her getting to die, it's an easy way out. It really is. It really is. So I just wanted to say that, yeah.
But Abby, like I was saying to Esther, we know, especially in this country, there's going to be no torture. We know this. We know she's going to be fed 3 meals a day. We know she's probably going to get an hour at least and to go around, walk around, go gym, do certain things.
And also the notion, I think we're watching too many movies. The notion that every day she's gonna get beat up.
It's not gonna happen.
On the wing.
Yeah.
This is too much. This is too much film. Like I mean, fantasy stuff. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree with you because sometimes I think obviously some of the people that are in prison, they've done the same amount that she's with women that have also killed other children.
Yeah, she's with,
they are all in there together, aren't they?
Fellow criminals.
It's true.
So I have
Don't get me wrong,
thought
these
about
things
that,
do
and I'm
happen,
like,
but it's not
happen.
as much as you lot think, innit?
I feel like with jail though, like when it comes to like babies, because they're the women in there, they'll come into a bit of arse and kill boyfriend or two or not. It's not baby. I feel like it's weird in a weird way. There's like a code thing of like vulnerable, extremely vulnerable people. When you abuse children and you kill babies, you're a different criminal. Like I burnt down a few buildings and whatnot. But you're different. Like you're a different breed.
Definitely.
And to know she was stalking them, keeping initials of the babies, like all that stuff. Like
it's insane. Yeah. But that's the thing though. Yeah. Considering those things, considering like we just said, right? It's not going to be like it is in the movies. She's going to be fed every day. She's going to get time to herself. She's probably going to be given books to read. All this type of stuff for the rest of her life. I don't see
but
that.
At least she's segregated, and I still think that it's better than her still being outside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying,
said to her, you can get out in 40 years, or you can get out in 20 years minimum. At least there's an actual punishment that fits the crime for the first time.
100%. This is the worst thing that she could have got, like in today's day and age. So I'm definitely happy about that. But the question is, considering there's no middle ground, would you prefer she gets the entire whole life order, or would you prefer that we get rid of her? We kill her. Capital punishment.
No, I feel like one of the comments that was cited in the chat was someone saying how some people on the death penalty, they'll be on the death penalty for like 20 years, 25 years. So you're living every single day, not knowing actually when you're going to be convicted, when it's going to be your last day. And I like that idea because really you will be living every day of this life knowing that you might not finish. So I do think that could have been a good one, but obviously death penalty in this country, I don't think it's going to happen. And with the fact that obviously they do put a lot of human rights in there, I think that should be removed because how is it that also she had the option not to attend court? How does that happen? Because again, with the fact that I know what a victim is, like you should be faced to hear what the statements are of the people who you have hurt. But you have the choice not to be there, and her parents also chose not to be there, which understandably, but she should have been made to be there and listen to what her said. And I did like the fact that the judge in his statement did say that he wants her to get a transcript of the judgment, and she has to kind of hear it in some of the ways. But I do feel like she should have been forced to be there. You should not have a choice.
Yeah, 100%.
So she wasn't at the trial?
No, to hear the sentencing.
Why? What was she?
She refused.
She was in prison, chilling, doing whatever she was doing.
There's a loophole in the sentencing where the criminals don't need to actually go to be there in person to hear their sentencing.
She's a coward. She's going to try and kill herself.
100%.
She's going to try and kill herself. About you don't want to hear
I do think that's
for the pain you cause people.
Yeah.
And they allow that.
Yeah, there's a loophole. So it's a thing where a lot of these prison guards or whatever, they're not going to touch her and force her there. Because people are kind of scared that human rights lawyers will get involved. Like, you can't do that to her. The law has not stipulated that she must be there or they must be there. So,
but also, as God-fearing religious people, don't we believe she's going to burn in hell?
Yeah, but
I personally do. God will deal with you also in the afterlife, and that is what also feels good. It's a good feeling to know that actually you will also be paying for your crimes in the afterlife. So obviously not everyone does believe in that, but personally I do, and I do feel like that is also one thing that is good to obviously think about. But I hope also that some of the parents can find some comfort in that, because again, it's something that they will never be able to get away with. Like in the trial, they were saying how one of the twins that she tried to kill multiple times. One of them, he's got brain damage now forever. Like his part of his brain is forever damaged, and the other one was saying how when they go to bed, his head is wet every single day when he goes to bed, and it's like that is because of what you've done. But you haven't had to hear what the parents have said. You've done what you've done and didn't care about the rest. You just thought, oh well,
So she didn't
that is it.
She didn't hear the testimony of the parents.
No, she was there, I think, for the thingy, but not the actual sentencing. So yesterday, the impact statements, all that type of stuff, she missed all of that.
So she was stalking them to see how they were grieving. But when now you don't need to stalk, that is brought to your front, is brought to your laps. Now you don't want to see it.
Nope.
They should have made her. They should have forced her.
100%. Why? When you
And that's why I feel like
she's recording
at all. Why are these people wasting time with this? Slap the woman, take her there.
I would have dragged her. Like,
why are we wasting time with this?
they should have pinned her to the chair and made her listen and look them in the eyes.
Human rights for someone like that. Is that a human?
Of course not. It's so sad, man. It's actually very heartbreaking, man. Well, thank you, Abby.
Thank you very much for calling, Abby.
No problem. Thank you. I'll speak to you later, guys.
Right, take care.
See you later.
Take care.
All right.
Just a
Very
quick
sad,
note.
you
Anybody
know.
who is triggered by this particular conversation, please tap out and come back later. We won't be changing the conversation until we're finished discussing it. Thank you.
It's very sad.
Brent, what are your views on this? Capital punishment or?
I personally want people like this dead in it.
Okay.
I don't know what happens in prison, right? I'm thinking if it is I had a loved one killed by this witch, I'd want her removed ASAP.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
In my head, her head is gone. I don't know if it is that she's going to draw any sort of comfort for sitting with all of the things that she did. 'Cause these memories of hers are what fuels her desire or excitement, right? So as quickly as I can remove all of that from her head, because I don't know her sitting in that particular jail cell, she could be reliving and masturbating to all his bollocks. If I'm hearing that she's watching the child whilst the child is slipping away,
She is, you know.
her head needs to be just ripped off. Just ripped off.
Do you know how mad that is? To actually, like, because Dr. Ravi saw her watching a child dying. And he's looking at her like, are you... And she's just standing over the baby, just watching the baby's oxygen falling and falling. She's just standing there, just staring at the baby.
It's insane.
It's scary. Because I'm sorry, yeah, but how many more... Okay, I don't believe she only killed 7 babies. These are the ones that have been easiest to pin on, to that the investigations be clear enough to point to her. I don't believe it's 7.
They're
and I
doing
believe
more.
there's many more babies who are ill and have got so much stuff wrong with them that she's the cause of.
You know what?
Do you know how many more I'm so sorry, man.
No, it's all right.
How many more psycho nurses exist? Yes, she's an anomaly.
This is it.
She's the first one that was in court.
Yeah.
Not obviously say anything about nurses and whatnot. I've got friends that are nurses and blah, 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 blah. It's the fact that there's so many crazy people in this world you don't have a clue about.
Well, Chims has written something in the chat, which is what I wanted to kind of use as the next point, right? And he says, you don't need to chill. There are people...
Chims, I was rooting for you.
Not us, he's saying people in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah, not us. There are people that have been wrongly convicted. Death isn't it, right? So, it begs the question, what about those situations where we can't get it wrong? Because we've seen people in prison for life.
Yeah.
And they're wrong. Remember, just last week we were talking about, what's his name, Malkinson, the guy who got put in prison for rape for 17 years. The man's innocent.
Yeah, no, it's a case-by-case basis, right? But in this situation, are we wrong?
Yeah, but
that's
you
the
just
thing
don't
though,
know you're wrong
But that's
in
why
the
I
time.
said...
I know, but...
In this one, we know we're not.
Exactly, so...
It's that. You need to be careful for cases like that.
Yeah.
That's how we avoid all these wrongful convictions and stuff like that. Because there's certain ones that it's clear as day, man.
Clear as day, yeah.
I feel like wherever there could be a doubt,
Yeah.
or you haven't been caught red-handed or whatever, then it shouldn't be. Because I don't believe in capital punishment, period, because the systems will find a way to abuse it.
Yes.
We've known of many people that have died that shouldn't have died, that did not commit the crime. Or they said, well, so a witness saw you. A witness account is not enough for this.
Okay.
This one, her crimes date back to 2015 when it was first flagged up.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So there's certain cases where it's clear as day, you did this shit. You were caught. Everything, like, do you get what I mean? It's clear as day. Those are the ones I think there needs to be capital punishment for, because it really can get messy.
So what do we need then? So like you said, it needs to be clear as day, but what does that look like? Because I was listening to one defense barrister, right?
Yeah.
This guy obviously had his own agenda, to be fair. But this animal was talking about cases within the health sector where nurses have been accused of killing the vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
But they were wrong. They were actually wrong. Like, it's basically, he gave an example of one Dutch lady, a nurse, and basically they believed there was some correlation between her presence and when people were, deteriorating and soon dying.
Yeah.
And they got some specialists to come in. And so these specialists kind of thought, okay, cool, I'm going to go in and look at this. The issue is, because of that bias, right, which is kind of in there already, unbeknownst to them, well, maybe, right, they kind of only looked at the cases where they saw these issues, basically, instead of looking at the cases of all the babies. If that makes sense.
So they didn't do proper research.
They didn't do proper research. Yeah. And so they concluded, based on the only ones we're looking at, it makes sense. Yes, the correlation is there. She's guilty. In reality, she wasn't guilty. So in a situation like this, and again, like we said, we've heard situations. I remember they were talking about a case earlier, decades ago, right? Where this woman, trigger warning here, guys, was raped. They beat her up mercilessly, all this type of stuff, right? Finished. Horrible situation. And 3 black men were accused of it. They were given life sentences. Turns out some years later, all 3 of these guys wasn't even there. They were innocent, and it was done by 1 white man. So in that situation, we would have killed those 3 men.
Yeah.
And we would have said that the evidence was good enough. Do you get where I'm coming from?
This is the issue. Stacey brought up a good point, actually. She said, should victims have a... she said, do you feel like victims should have a say so in whether capital punishment is exercised? I think that's the point. But the thing is, though, with that wrongful conviction you've just said now, what was the evidence? Evidence is to be clear as day.
Yeah, it has to be 100%
witness accounts
concrete. Yeah.
And sadly, just the victim's word cannot be what it is that's solely relied on.
Yeah.
When we think about because even Emmett Till, I swear, the white lady was like, and then on her deathbad, this stupid twat, talking about, actually, it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So certain situations, I think maybe in the white and black situation, we should not be allowing.
It has to be beyond reasonable doubt.
It has to be beyond reasonable doubt. There's no doubt.
Like if you look at what's his name? The white serial killer boy.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
No, not him.
In this country or America?
Dylan Roof.
Okay.
Dylan Roof.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're found on the scene.
We know he did
in the act.
He did,
with the gun.
With the gun. I mean, 100% concrete evidence.
Concrete evidence. This woman here, because I know the example you gave about the other nurses where they only looked at that.
Yeah.
That was lazy research on that part.
100%, yeah.
That was lazy research on that. What race was the woman?
I think she's a white woman. She was Dutch.
Okay, yeah. That was lazy on their part. Do you get what I mean? When it comes to this situation, though, is this clear as day? I feel like I don't feel like it's something that should be exercised nearly like it just here and there whenever you feel like it. But it needs to be for certain cases, and those cases as well. It shouldn't like the judge should say it, but then it should be like maybe like the Supreme Court or something has to then review it to then be like, okay, yes, we've looked over everything as well, and we also agree that this should be the case.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying death is too easy, like.
It is, you know.
But what's the other option? Just life in prison. But
you get to because you know what it is.
Because everyone keeps thinking about this torture thing. That's not going to happen.
But I'm not thinking about torturing. I'm done with the torturing now because unfortunately it's a fantasy. But I feel like someone say, okay, let me put myself in the shoes of the parents. Yeah. Dying is easy. I live with this grief. Even if she's a psycho, she can't comprehend or whatever. That's fair, but you don't have the freedom that you usually have. You don't get to see your family. You don't get to do all these things. In a way, that is still suffering in a way. Do you get what I mean?
I hear you.
I feel like you need to live as long as you are and then die. Because even being able to just die when you commit something, I think that's
No, it is. For me,
so easy, man.
Knowing that the person is dead, and obviously I'm thinking about it as well from a religious standpoint. I believe this person is in hell, burning.
Yeah.
So I take comfort in that.
I want you to
I take comfort in it. Because the thing is, I feel like we're all God-fearing people, but right now I feel like no one's thinking about the after. No one's thinking about heaven and hell.
Oh no, I'm thinking about that.
Like,
but I just
she's going to burn in hell, and I get comfort in that.
Do you know what though?
I feel like the suffering on earth is appetizer.
Yeah, and also remember, there are people who are religious as well who believe if you have the time to ask God for forgiveness, you'll be forgiven. No. So if we give
no,
that's our opinion. That's our opinion though. But according to scriptures and stuff, if you ask God, you know what I'm saying? If she gets 30, imagine she's got 30
we
years.
might as well leave this room right now and do what the fuck we want then. If she can ask God for forgiveness and it's granted to her, I'm leaving here right now. I'm doing the madness then. Because what's the point?
No, but you know what?
What's the point?
No, but she doesn't get to do
Come on.
prison like everybody else though. Like she needs to be in isolation, just
That's
hurting.
where you
four
can be
walls.
alone with your thoughts.
And
Find
they
out
just,
you're
you know, when they
sorry and ask
slide
God for forgiveness.
your dinner through that little tray, that little gap. That's it. Like that's it. That's all she ever gets. Can you imagine that for the next 50 years? I could imagine that for a month.
Tell me something.
Wait. Sorry. I'm just reading one comment. So, based on the Bible, she'll be forgiven for this. But even back to our conversation last week about Jesus died for our
She
sins.
genuinely repents and she accepts Jesus
So
as Lord
what?
and Savior.
Christians have free get into heaven free card. I can't stand for this.
Beautiful grace. So tell me something.
Wait.
Say get into heaven free
No.
card.
Don't brush over that.
Hey, go.
Are you
Into heaven
insane?
free card.
So you're telling me that this woman who killed 7 babies, maybe more, because Jesus died for her sins, she can do what she wants. She's fine.
She truly repents.
Fuck out of
yes.
here. Fuck out of here. I'm not gonna lie. With all due respect, I'm not standing for that statement.
She can.
So y'all can do what you want.
No, you can't.
No, you just said.
No.
but you just said.
No,
you
that's
just
not how
said.
this works. 'Cause when you know better,
Break it down.
When you know better, your judgment is worse. If I now knowing what I know about God's grace,
That's why
I
this
know
guy's so
God's
arrogant.
forgiveness and whatever.
I would ask you.
That's why he tells God, you know what it is. But do you know what I mean?
I don't want to believe that the same grace isn't possible in Islam.
I don't want to believe. I don't believe people need. I don't believe that she should get grace. That's my standpoint.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't think that you can't ever come to. Allah.
Yeah, no. Of course you can.
That's what I'm saying.
No, of course you can. I know, but the way you say it, like, it's easy. Because because you're already in credit.
No, but you know what's interesting?
You know what I'm saying?
though? You know what's
Because
interesting?
you knew Jesus already died for your sins, so you're on earth knowing you've got that grace.
No, but you know what's interesting though? Because even if she did come to Christ, coming to Christ and now knowing of God's love and stuff, she's going to live worse than she lived as a sinner. Because that guilt is, I feel like that's gonna be intense.
I don't think so, you know.
Nah, she's a new Christian. She don't know about all the perks of grace. She's new to this. 30 years down the line, she'll meet some parish pastor in there who will then say, "No, my daughter, don't beat yourself up with this. God is forgiving." Then she might forgive herself. Until then, her conscience is being tortured.
This is why I said I would choose the death penalty, only because it's possible for her to come to Christ while she's in prison.
Okay.
And then, how do you feel?
You
Because
sounding-
she would be suffering.
Did it sound like-
she knows that she's got? Huh?
Sound like Jonah.
How?
Do you remember God said to Jonah to go there and preach to these people so they can repent?
And he said no.
And he said no.
She got
They didn't get to repent.
And he got swallowed by a fish.
There you go.
3 days.
Christianity feels easy. Is there vacancies?
You're recruiting.
You know what I mean?
Please do not
Y'all
suggest.
recruiting?
Don't suggest
Any space in there?
Don't suggest that Islam isn't the same. Difference,
for
man.
art.
Yeah, because remember in the Quran as well.
Of course you can repent. Of course I can go to Mecca, do Hajj, I can repent, I can fast, all that, right? But the way you paint it is like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
nah, you know what I'm talking about, bro.
No, but there is still because I believe there's still rewards and what's the opposite of
You said
rewards?
the levels of blessings that you get in heaven.
Yeah,
based
so
on
she-
how you've lived your life on earth.
She might be barren in the next world.
Yeah.
She won't be allowed no kids.
Yeah.
She'll be everyone's cleaner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Her status in the next world, yeah, you come to Christ and all. But God is a God of justice.
But
Yeah.
okay, cool. I know
that's
we
the
can't
world.
speak for God's grace, but do you feel like certain things shouldn't be forgiven?
No, I can't say that.
You can't say that.
I'm a sinner myself.
No, we're sinner, but let's not act like there's not degrees to sinning, man. I know. Going back to last week's conversation too, you know what? You acting like sin is a sin.
No, but sin is a sin.
I
though.
still was sweet. I killed a baby. It's still a sin. You can be judged the same.
I'll be honest with you, yeah.
Knock it off.
No,
Do you
because
know what
God
it is?
sees it as all unholiness.
No, I hear you. But
That's
are
it.
you telling me that God sees me stealing a sweet and me killing 7 babies as the same?
It's unholiness. Unholiness is
No,
still the root
I
of
know, it's all unholy. But are you telling me and this person, what's his woman name?
Lucy.
Lucy.
Me and Lewis Letby.
Lucy's such a lovely
Just say
name
me and
as
Lewis Letby.
Lucy.
Lucy Letby. Both went to meet our maker today.
Yeah.
My list of crimes was stealing Snickers, and she's killed 7 babies. We're both going to be judged equally. Come on.
But
Sin is
Come on,
sin.
talk to me, people.
Yusuf, do you know what it is? It's not about the hierarchy of the sin, right? So to speak, right? It's
Yeah.
more so about the idea. When I say the idea, I don't mean that this is not the case, but
Yeah.
the idea that God is entirely pure.
Yeah.
And so, like, even if your sin is the size of an atom,
Yeah.
you're not good enough to be in his presence.
Yeah, no facts.
Right? So it's one of those either or situations.
Yeah.
Either you're as good as me or you're not as good as me. So it doesn't matter
But
what
there
the sin
has
is.
to be degrees because then, do you know what I mean? There has
I
to
know
be
exactly
there has to
what you
be
mean.
degrees
I know
of
exactly
it.
what you mean. I know
No, but you know
exactly
what
what
it
you
is?
mean.
And maybe because I'm thinking of it from an Islamic standpoint because
I
there
think
are
that's what it
degrees.
is, because the thing is-
in Christianity maybe there isn't.
Yeah, because what it is that sin is sin and sin for God, right? Because the root of sin is unholiness. So whether I'm fornicating and that person over there killed and the other person was stealing Kit Kat bars or whatever it was, whatever it is, the driving force that made me sin anyway is unholiness. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know about the tiers of sin. I feel like that's something that we'll find out when I cross over. But
Von, I
I
lie.
live as though sin is sin is sin. Just
There was-
because
there was
like,
definitely a moment of
because you
silence.
know what it is?
in
Because what I think about as well is that that parable where there were two people in the temple praying, and the poor guy, it was a rich guy and a poor guy, right? And the poor guy was like, "Oh God, please forgive me for my sins, blah blah blah, blah whatever." And the rich guy was like, "Oh, thank you God, I'm not like that other guy." Do you get what I mean? So we can't be doing moral police.
This is
And
it.
when you think about it as well, all these things we see from our eyes, God is holy.
This is it.
God is holy. So for God, I might be like, oh, it's a little white lie, God. It's not about that. That's still holy and that's still unholy and detestable to God. Do you get what I mean? So when we judge sin, we're judging it from our human
is it.
perspective.
Yeah.
God doesn't see it that way. Sin is sin is sin.
And is that in the Bible?
Yeah, that God is holy, yeah.
No, not that God's holy, Esther. That
sin
that
is sin.
sins are all viewed equally no matter what the sin is.
But it wouldn't be
I
as
Is
clear
it
as
in the
that.
Bible?
It won't be
I
as clear
believe
as
so.
that.
So
I've read that somewhere.
give me whatever it is then.
It'll be more so like I was saying, like in terms of all of us have fallen short.
Yeah.
So regardless of what the sin is,
Yeah.
you're just not good enough to be where I am.
Yeah,
and
no,
so, and so,
no,
and so
I
Christ,
understand that. I'm talking about comparing sins. Obviously, sin is a sin, but when you were comparing sins, you're telling me in the Bible, that does it say in the Bible
No,
that there's no degrees of sinning?
Okay,
Nah,
here we go. So in James, it says, whoever keeps the whole law yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it.
There you go.
So just because you feel like I only lied a little bit, you're a sinner. You've sinned.
No, I know. I know it's a sin's a sin. I'm talking about the comparison
just
of
hierarchy of
sins and the
sins.
degrees of sinning.
No,
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't be.
There wouldn't be there. Because I feel like
wouldn't be there.
that's God's judgment.
Let me give you some verses whilst it is that you guys are talking. I'll pull up some verses.
Okay,
Alright,
thank you.
cool.
But I feel like that would be like God's. That's one of the the little surprise acts when we get there. You find out you think you were just fornicating a little bit and goes,
There you go.
It has I know you lot are telling me what you're telling me, and I'm not. Obviously, you guys know more about your religion than me, but I can't believe that
Because you know the issue.
that's
though?
the case.
The issue is that when we start tearing sin, there is no. We're justifying our sin. And that in itself is a sin anyway. Do you get me? So if I'm just like, oh, all I do is just this, but that person over there is a killer, and there's because there will always be someone out there that's doing worse than me.
Yeah.
But we're all on different journeys. Do you get me? I don't know what that person's situation is, what their journey is like, what they might come to, and whatever it is. So the issue is that it's that self-righteousness. When we start judging, when I start comparing my sin to somebody else's, that's me being in a self-righteous place. And that's counterproductive to being holy, like God wants me to be.
I hear you, and in isolation, you should focus on what you're doing and not compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
But when the opportunity presents itself, like today, I'm not gonna lie, I can sit here and say, yeah, I'm a sinner. But I can definitely say I haven't killed 7 babies. Like, this is life. This is facts.
Okay, I guess what it boils down to is the fact that you didn't kill 7 babies, right? Where does that get you?
It makes, in my eyes, it makes me a better human being.
Okay, but in terms of the afterlife, where does that really get us? I think that's basically the distinguisher.
To me, okay, cool. To me, it means, okay, cool. If me and this woman both repent, in my eyes, I've got a better likelihood of my repent being accepted.
Okay, cool.
That's the way I see it.
Do you see it as
She has a lot more work to do. She has a lot more work to do than I do.
But you both don't have an opportunity after. You know what I'm saying? When you're both dead, right? So there's no opportunity.
No, I mean opportunity here.
That's
to
what I mean.
repent. To repent while I'm here is what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So as long as I sorry, go on. Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
It's Chijoke.
Morning, Chijoke. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I just wanted to, I don't know if I can go back slightly to the main topic in terms of capital punishment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because
All right, Brent.
my good
You should have.
my good brother Chims, who's waiting for a date, he's a solicitor, by the way. He just put that in the chat. what you were saying, what people were disagreeing with was if we bring the capital. I was just saying because he's talking about the law. So he was just saying in terms of the capital punishment, he was saying in terms of what it would do for, like, say, people like us, it will definitely be a detriment because what they will do, they'll probably use it more against us than for this kind of person. Because by the time they get to this person, I think that's the issue because then it becomes who do we trust to actually give this capital punishment? And I think that's always been my problem when it comes to these kind of things.
I think you're 100% right. That the racial bias is always going to be a factor, like you're saying. You know what I'm saying? We already know that we're disproportionately represented in prisons. You know what I'm saying? Taking up more cells than we really need to, especially when you compare it to our population, right? But in terms of like heinous acts, like the guys have said, should there be certain criteria? So regardless of race, maybe we can eliminate that if we've got DNA evidence, if we've got video footage, if you've been caught at the scene. Like, if we bring those things in, surely, what I'm asking anyway, surely that removes the racial and, socioeconomic bias there.
I think you're putting way too much faith in the justice system right there.
No, I'm not, it's nothing to do with justice, it's to do with the evidence. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, you can tamper with evidence.
It depends. Yeah, but it depends on who's defending them because there's, evidence can also be tampered and then it gets thrown out because it's like, well, you didn't process properly, so we can't use it now.
Yeah, that is true. But then if we can't use it, right, then maybe that would be part of the criteria that, you know what, it doesn't hit the threshold, so therefore that person can't get the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things need to be ticked off, basically.
So then my thing is, at what point does it become we've put it so there's so many stipulations that it doesn't even happen in the end?
I mean, because remember, we don't want it to be a thing where it's like you know what I mean, like happening 5 times a month, right? We want it to be one of those situations.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like these cases with like Lucy Letby, most people believe like the world would be a far better place without this type of animal, right? And like innocent kids, people already vulnerable children, she's gone out of her way to kill them. So in these type of unique cases, right, should we not make an exception? Even if it happens like once every 10 years, once every 20 years.
I got your point in terms of we're effectively paying for her to stay in prison, but for me, I'm with Esther in terms of she needs to suffer. She needs to have that power of, regardless, wherever she is, she knows she cannot step outside these 4 walls. She will be there for the rest of her life. If it makes her go mad, let it make her go mad. That's what we want. We want her to sit there and shoot. Because, I think for me, it's one of those things where once you take death, like we were talking about the whole, what if she repents and all of that. Literally, I'm not going to get into the whole whether she's going to heaven or whatever. It's more of her life while she's here. She's never going to be able to think, how or what she has done because I think she's truly mad. And you have to be to kill innocent babies. Like, you have to be. So regardless of what you do, her punishment is coming. Her punishment is here. And I hope we don't hear foolishness that she's out. I really do hope. I don't want to hear she's gone to a mental health institution and then look for her after. Like, she just needs to be there.
Okay. And last thing, you feel as though her getting the whole life orders is a good enough punishment? Because I'm assuming, obviously, you wouldn't be for torture. But taking away torture and stuff.
No, I for what she's done, there's never a punishment that's going to be good enough. There really isn't. Because there's always, and I'm saying this one, I know it's triggering a few fathers. Me as a father as well, you couldn't tell me what this woman deserves to have because I've lost a child. That will never come. You'll never be right with me, regardless of what you say or do.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is like I was saying, this is the best we're probably gonna get. So I'll take it.
Okay.
But yeah.
I hear you, man.
All right, then, guys.
Thank you very much for calling.
I'll leave you to it. Thanks.
So before there was
I'm not sure I can hear you, Brent.
hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Before there were these jail cells in these civilized societies, what did we used to do?
Well, back days.
Back then.
It was torturing, it was hanging, it was beheading.
Yeah, good stuff.
All of that.
He said good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. Can I ask you guys a question there?
Hold up. Keep the question in your head, please.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget it.
Hello.
Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello?
Morning. It's Kemi. Am I allowed to call in even though I don't have a job?
Of course you can.
Yes. But it's limited. Your time will be capped. I'm only joking.
I have like 4.
Oh, your connection's not great, you know. Say it again.
I had like 4 points to make quickly.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So firstly, I just want to say to everyone that I think this case of Letby, one thing that I think is really important for us as people who visit the hospital and stuff like that is to make sure we advocate for ourselves, because this woman was a nurse or whatever, a doctor or whatever, and all of those victims trusted her. And when you have a baby and you're in the hospital, most of the time they take the baby away, like straight away to do this and all of that kind of stuff. And nobody would have been looking at her thinking that she would be capable of doing something like this. So I just wanted to say, every time we go to the hospital, regardless, we should be asking all the questions. And I think also in, was it Dreaming Whilst Black? I think there was a episode or like a clip where the dad was saying about his wife, like, are you sure? What's this? Asking questions. And they were just like, why are you asking all these questions? Like, I've been a nurse so many years. I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And then it turned out that the wife did something wrong. So I just wanted to give that as a reminder that you should be like, what's your PIN number? Yeah. What are you doing? What medicine are you giving? Write it down, record it, take pictures, do all of these things. Carry a child for 9 months and give birth to the child. And then a few days later or a few weeks later, someone takes the child away. That's crazy and wild. Like I can't even imagine it. And also, this has happened before, more than once. There was 2 things that I've seen recently. One was a doctor who kept telling his patients that they had cancer. Meanwhile, they didn't have cancer, and he was treating them as if they had cancer, which was making them more sick. And even because he was saying that, oh, like the GP ain't going to refer you, blah, 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 you need to come private. So these people were paying to be killing them. Yeah. And another Asian doctor or consultant kept saying like, oh, there's something not right here. These numbers are not working out. They're not making sense. And as a result, did exactly what they did to this guy. Like I think he even lost his job. And so I think that this kind of thing happens more regularly than we think. And then another thing, this is a trigger warning, guys. There was a guy who is currently in prison who he was like a lodger, and he killed his landlord or whatever, the people he was living with. He killed their children, 3 of them, all differently. And then he impaled them on their railings outside, garden spikes things outside. He was put in prison, and because when he was put in prison, every time they found out what he did, they would beat him up, and like all the people in prison would beat him up. And then they said, because of his human rights, like he has a right to live a life without being hurt or harmed in any way. I think there's a legal law that stipulates that, right? So because of that, they took him and put him in an open prison where he would have more flexibility, and he was allowed to do that. So something like this, they could allow this to be for Letby, in Letby's case. And he's going to be out soon, even though he did that. And he had a life sentence. And when he comes out, his identity will be protected because of the risk of people beating him up and all of this kind of stuff. So it's really, 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 really crazy. And then my last and final point is that
you were talking about Christianity and stuff like this and sin, sins being judged or whatever. And one thing in the Bible, I think it's in Proverbs, it says that there's certain things that God hates most, like certain things that he hates. And unfortunately, Letby has done all of them. It's about, like, he hates when you lie on people. He hates when you shed innocent blood. And he hates when you, I can't remember what the other ones are, but they're all basically all the things that she did, lying, killing people, killing innocent blood, i.e. babies, and things like that he hates. So I'm pretty sure that his judgment for her is going to be of the person that does something that God hates. So those are the points that I wanted to make. But the most important thing is when you're in the hospital, make sure you advocate for yourself. Make sure you ask for their pins. The moment you ask for their pins, they act correctly, because they know that is the difference between them keeping their job or not. So yeah, thanks guys. That's all I wanted.
Thank you for that. But before you go though, capital punishment or not?
Oh, I really don't know. I don't know.
You know, that's the main something that we're discussing.
I know, but I don't know, because I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be angry if they said that they're going to give her the capital punishment. But I don't know if that even, like, I don't know how I feel about whether it's going to be an easy route for her, what it does to the family. Are they supposed to learn? Oh, another thing is that what you need to think about with these people is whether they have learned from their lesson. So with that guy that impaled the people, like put the children's head on the thing, they said that there's no way, like he hasn't even given a reason why he did it. So that you can't even say like, oh, it's because of mental health, it's because of whatever. And somebody like that, you can't trust that they're not going to go and do the same thing. You don't even know what was the trigger for them or whatever. So that type of person being outside and being around people, there's no explanation as to why they did it. So you're unable to say that, oh, this person has changed. And I think that that's really important. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel, honestly, about whether it should be capital punishment or not. I'm not sure. But she should definitely be in prison for a long time and not be able to forget what it is that she's done.
Long time
I think
or forever?
as far as that. Forever.
Okay, cool. All right.
Forever. I think that she should come out.
Okay. Makes sense.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome. Bye.
Right. I wanted to ask you guys, do you feel like the death penalty is a deterrent?
Deterrent? No, because people want the man dying, man. Some people, yeah.
You say? Say again, what did you say?
Some people don't mind dying.
Oh.
Really? Well, there's a lot of mad people. They don't, like, so I wouldn't say it's a deterrent, because when you think about some people that do very heinous acts, before the authorities get there, they kill themselves.
I think it's you can't say it's not a deterrent to some people, man. It has to be. Because
prison, some people don't mind.
Because prison is a deterrent. So why wouldn't death penalty be
I don't think prison is a deterrent.
It is.
Good morning. We'll get onto that. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Hi, it's Von. How are you guys?
Good, thank you. Who are you speaking to, please, sorry?
Von.
Okay.
Oh, Von, you sound...
Why are you whispering your name?
Von, yes, Von.
Yes, Von, speak to us.
I'm a bit more mature than I appear, actually. Look, the problem is that you don't have a deterrent. Prison is not a deterrent in this country, and that's why capital punishment is needed for cases like this. It's not a likely decision. It's not something that you would do for everyone.
Yeah.
But prison is just not a deterrent. You don't have things like hard labor. I was writing in the chat, sent it to the gulag, because that's really the only deterrent you'd have if you have prison. But when you don't have these things, I'm afraid bring back Ramsay Bolton. That's what this woman deserves. It's ridiculous. You murder 7 babies. Yeah. 7 babies. Like.
Okay, Von, let me ask you this then.
That was just
So sorry to cut you. I was just going to ask you, do you feel like the state should have that much power though over life and death?
But what makes her think she has power over life and death?
Yeah, 100%. But the state, is it okay for the state for us to say, you know what, you the government have the power to take our lives? Is that something that we want to be doing?
Well,
I mean,
case by case basis, man. Cases like this, like Dylan Roof, like
decided to take someone else's life.
Yeah, multiple people's lives.
Eye kind of vibe.
But
Life for life.
Well, do you not elect the government to make decisions in every other aspect of your life?
Exactly, they already do.
Like literally any other aspect of your life.
Are we happy about that though?
They dictate how much tax. Well, but then are we talking about dissolution of government? Are we talking about communism, Iman? Because that's a different topic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you empower a class or a ruling set of people to make these decisions on your behalf because you believe that they represent the best for you and your community or your wider country. So that by that you give them the power to make laws. Just like the laws that they made to F up Brexit and all of these trade deals and all of these things. You've given them that power, so then you have to give them that power for the legislature side of things.
True indeed.
That's just the way I see it. Once you are into that system where you are electing people to represent you, then you elect them in every aspect and not some and not others. Otherwise, then what are you creating? There's no checks and balances.
Okay, makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh,
Von, before you go, let me ask you this. Before you go. Yeah. What's more important to you, right? Prison being punitive, or it being an opportunity for rehabilitation?
Oh, punitive.
Okay.
Punitive because there's degrees, right? So it's to do with the severity of the type of the crime. There are some crimes that can be rehabilitated. So there are young people who create crime, who make, do all sorts of things that they could be rehabilitated from. And reintegrated back into society. But there are cases actually where the best thing is to isolate those people away from any other human interaction because they are purely evil, and therefore they shouldn't have a rehabilitative approach. She should be purely punitive. Like her, she should work until she's exhausted and dies. That's for these extreme cases. I don't think that's, again, I am saying that this is for extreme cases. But if we accept that there is a prison sentence for rehabilitation, then we have to, by virtue of that logic, is enable those people to be reintegrated back into society. That's the whole purpose of it. If you don't, then what we're talking about is a whole life tariff that shouldn't be that rare, and then it should be punitive, shouldn't it? That's just the way I think about it logically. Okay,
I hear you. I guess my next question to the guys would be basically the whole rehabilitation stuff. Of course, like you said, you are kind of speaking about extreme cases, but we've seen ex-murderers, ex-convicted murderers change their lives and actually be productive people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that she's got it in her, but in people that we thought didn't have it in them, we've seen how they can be productive. You know what I'm saying? And good citizens afterwards.
Then they can do that behind bars. They don't need to be doing it back in society.
True indeed. 100%.
Contribute wherever they're going to contribute in confinement. Contribute whatever you're going to contribute to the betterment of humankind from the confines of your cell or your prison camp. You're not back in society living the proverbial normal life. That's not what you deserve. You've 100%. Still taken away a life or committed a crime that whoever, let's call it murder. You've taken away a life. No matter what you do in this life, you can never bring that life back. So if you can save lives, do it from behind the walls, and that's it. Okay. There has to be a deterrent. There has to be absolutely a deterrent. Otherwise, what you end up with is a situation where everybody commits a crime, knowing that the repercussions are not necessarily as bad, especially if you start applying all of these sliding scales. Yes, of course, there's going to be there's going to be errors, and there's going to be miscarriages of justice in the odd case, in a few cases, but that has to be the risk that we take, because that's just the way it works. There's no foolproof way. There's just none. And we'd be foolish to think that by reinstating capital punishment that there wouldn't be some errors. There will have to be. That's just the way it works. It's just whether we have the stomach for it.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call, man.
Appreciate the call, man.
Anytime.
Thanks, Vaughn.
Quickly, super chat from Tracy Thompson, $9.99. She says, "Step it up a notch, sir." Talking to Chims. All your contributions so far could have been done in one drop like this.
Wow, Tracy.
So stop doing intricates.
Nah, intricates is nice.
Is that intricates?
Adding up.
Yeah, true. Also, I want more people to call up because when you hear someone's voice, it kind of gives me a glimpse into who they are. Because I know from reading Vaughn in a chat, I thought it was a roadman.
Yeah.
But he's like, pip pip cheerio.
Wow.
It's all banter, bro.
I was going to ask you guys.
I like his voice.
like I was saying to you guys, yeah, about the whole. Sorry, like I was saying to Vaughn about the whole rehabilitation.
That's a dangerous man.
Who?
One is a dangerous.
Do you know how
man.
funny
I'm
that
shaking
is?
in my. I'm shaking in my boots.
No, he can't be so
Cheerio.
handsome and so well spoken at the same time.
Oh.
Dangerous man.
Yeah, so I was talking about rehabilitation, yeah, and Von's right. So I feel like, especially with extreme case like this person should never see the light of day, like facts, right? But we have seen certain situations. Remind me about deterrence. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that. Did you guys know? You know the London Bridge terror attacks.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys know that 2 people that apprehended those terrorists, right, were ex-convicted murderers?
No.
So say obviously they've served their time, whatever it may be. They've come out. And they've helped protect.
You know, it is.
You know what I
Reform is possible for sure, but can we take that risk? Because we don't know who's going to reform and who isn't in it. So it's like, should we just put everyone in the same box and just punish them all? Or should we give everyone that grace to say, you know, you might reform, you might not. It's risky.
Yeah. Okay.
It's risky.
And the whole deterrent things, right? Esther, you said it's not a deterrent. Some people in the chat were saying, how was... in fact, Stacey, I think you said it. Call up, please, if that's what you think. But some people believe that the capital punishment is not a deterrent because, again, in America, you still got loads of people killing people and murder. Like, you know what I'm saying? Heinous acts are still happening in certain states where capital punishment is the norm. So is it really a deterrent?
No, it is. Most criminals think they're going to get away with it anyway.
Okay.
That's the thing. A lot of people do crime thinking that they're going to get away with it. So they don't really think of the consequences of their actions until shit hits the fan.
Okay. And Brian, what do you think?
About what?
Do you feel like capital punishment is a good enough deterrent? Is it a deterrent?
I think not for everybody, obviously, right? Just like Ovon said, jail time isn't a deterrent for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you what happened back in the day when there weren't so many jail cells to now house people indefinitely, or for as long as you want them to be held. I mean, if we can return to that for a little while, whilst it is that you can, then cool, surely.
So as into what? Yes, killing, chopping off hands and stuff?
As soon as something has happened, right? Before it gets to the police, where they can now look to... But I'm telling you, obviously, in the moment, right, you have lost somebody you cannot get back. And this is an innocent. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This particular type of sin or crime is so flipping carnal. If you're able to just remove the person with quick haste, then cool. Everything will be fine. We won't have this discussion. And I hear if it is capital punishment, it's brought in, somehow they're going to be able to malign black people. Like, do it, run it so that black people
All of
that, 100%. But this is not what we're talking about right now, right? Because I don't know if any of the babies are black anyway. I'm talking about this one being wicked, evil.
Which?
Evil.
Yeah.
Super chat from Christy, 1999. She's saying,
Period.
like the video, people. Like the video right now.
Girl.
Shout out Christy.
And share the video, please.
Your bad self.
I think Chims wants to call in. Hopefully, he can call in.
Give him the number. I want to hear his voice.
We put the number in the chat. But yeah, please call before we move on to the headlines.
The next segment.
I think I was supposed to play something from Wooden Road.
Okay.
What are you playing?
The voice note.
Yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hello? Good morning. It's Chims.
Money man!
Morning.
Big up Chims.
Yo. I was going to Tracy's on smoke. She's on me.
Yeah, you don't want it with the Chims. Don't even look to try.
Don't indulge her.
Oh, that's what. I've got the time to challenge her though. Don't mind. Just let her do it for now. Let her do it from now. Now I was saying though, like with the capital punishment thing, 100%. I don't think there's a space for it to happen. It would be irresponsible, I'd say legally, and particularly because of black people. We're already the main target for the justice system. So it doesn't make sense to allow them a space to add even more punitive measurements to come and kill us off.
Do you not feel like there's a way to kind of put in maybe a set of criteria that every single point has to be met before?
Impossible.
No?
No, impossible. Impossible, sure. No. No, there's no way. There's no point even considering it. There's no point even considering it.
So
they've misused it in the past. Why would we go back? Like when you see you've got an op,
yeah,
and the op has used something against you, why would you now put something back in the op's hand?
Yeah, but remember, like I was saying, like it depends on the criteria. So, for example, like the guys were saying, yeah, what if we required DNA evidence? We required them being at the scene. We required multiple witnesses.
Big man, we have that. We have that now. We have that now for everything else. That's already there.
Not entirely, because remember, like we spoke about last week. What's his name? I think it's William Malkinson, right? He got put in jail for a rape case. Was innocent. Did 17 years. But they had DNA evidence, which they didn't use, which kind of proves your point, yeah. But in terms of
You're
like the other
speaking
things,
on my point then.
Yeah, exactly. But if we had other things though, right? Perhaps he may go to jail, but the capital punishment element of it, yeah, just wouldn't be there. It'll be off the table because there was no DNA evidence presented to say yes, unequivocally he was there and he did it. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I understand the point you're making, but I'm just saying the result of it wouldn't go anywhere.
So
like it won't bang. It won't bang at all. It won't bang.
So regardless, you feel like there will always be a racial bias, regardless. Or socioeconomic
It will definitely
bias.
be until, big man, I'm 27. Like it won't be in my lifetime that will be sorted out. I already know that. Like in terms of the legal system, because I work within it, it just won't bang. Like I see the laws, I see how often they get changed.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. You know what I mean? The change system, that itself, the one that you're suggesting, it just wouldn't bang for us because it's not made for us. We just have to work with it. And also one other point I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk on Yusuf's point. I don't think people explained what Christianity was properly. When it comes to faith, by the way, the grace that we have from Christ is more. It's not like a free pass. I think that was Yusuf's main question. We don't get like free reign or a free pass. That's not what we're given. What we do have to do is live like Christ. So the Bible calls us to be saints. So everyone will be judged according to their actions. Hence why there's a judgment day.
You hear that, Brent?
There's no level. We don't have levels though. I think that's an Islamic idea.
What's that again?
No levels.
Yeah,
I was saying we don't have levels. I think that's more Islamic. I think eventually you guys will all eventually go. I think eventually all of you will go to heaven, right? After you've spent your years in hell.
You have to serve your time, you know.
Yeah. No, we don't have that. Okay. There's no levels. So every sin is seen the same way, and the people that falter will falter. But Christ came so that we can have grace for that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hear that. I appreciate your input on that one because Brent was, confused.
Don't mind Brent, man.
I was definitely not confusing him. Don't mind him. Don't mind him.
I do actually. One thing I do agree with Brent on. Sometimes he loses my fight, but this whole thing, like the marriage stuff. I'm with Brent until he says it's about shagging babes. That's not the every time. I'm with you, and then you ruin it. And then you just ruin it.
Thank you very much for the call.
Appreciate
it.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thanks, guys.
Just last thing I wanted to mention is about the whole deterrent thing. Some people are saying it's not a deterrent, when obviously we know that's just not true, right? Obviously, it's not going to deter every single person.
Yeah, but it is a deterrent.
But it's definitely a deterrent. As we know, in the past, there were certain crimes that certain criminals would do, right? Where they'll be like, look, don't take a gun with you because if we get caught, we'll get this particular crime, innit? It's a similar type of thing. And also, I was watching an interview where the former Tory MP, right? Her name's Anne Wickham, and she was talking about how, because they were kind of pushing for certain things in terms of like, how did she put it? transparency or honesty with the sentencing. Yeah. One second, caller. Right, in a situation where if somebody gets 10 years, for example, they get 10 years. They don't get 10 years, do 5, but they're on license for another 5. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But she also mentioned how there was a 5-year period, right, where it was kind of like an experimental period where they took away the capital punishment in the past. And to kind of show and prove about the whole deterrent thing, right? And what happened in that 5-year period is that those same crimes, which would be deemed as ones eligible for capital punishment, went up 125%. So it must be a deterrent.
It was definitely a deterrent. I feel like it will be. I feel like on a whole, prison and capital punishment, all these things are a deterrent for people that with normal biology, DNA, and stuff like that. But some people, they're an anomaly. Do you get what I mean? Why are you doing that?
I'm just letting all the mods know this is Dee's picture.
Yeah, man. Dee's got a picture. You guys keep taking
No, you put a picture up on purpose because you ain't put no one else's picture up.
No, because her picture's not coming up.
Oh.
But when you actually go on her profile, she has a picture. Pick up the pretty girl, man.
I thought Brent was just doing Brent stuff.
Nope.
He is, to be fair, but we'll let him off the hook.
Good morning, caller.
I don't want to put camera on me at inappropriate times.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. I just wanted to add on to the conversation that we just had.
Abby?
Sorry?
Who are you speaking to, please?
Stella.
Oh, morning, Stella.
Hi, Stella.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to add on to the conversation that we've just been having about the Lucy thing. I personally don't think that the death sentence, like the death penalty or the death sentence, I do think it's like an easy way out, because some prisoners, they get given the life sentence, they can't handle it, they can't handle the rigidness of it and basically the life taken away from them, and then they commit suicide. And I think for other people, the mind is like the biggest downfall. Like, lock someone up and let them have to deal with their mind and go through things in their past and traumas they've had. They literally would not be able to stand it, and I think that's what she needs. And I also think, like, if there's a way we can transfer her to another country that would punish her and torture her till the day when God says you're gonna live to your 80, and then we can torture her till she's 80, that she'll like beg us to end her life, and we'll be like, no, you're gonna suffer. I think that's what she needs, because she's actually a demon. Like, she's actually not a human being.
Normal, man. You guys are acting like she's normal.
You think I said go and do evil, but damn, like, I didn't mean all of this.
Stella, yeah, you said 2 points there, yeah. If she's actually a demon, why do you feel like the first point, right, would affect her? Like, because remember, the whole thing about being alone with your thoughts and things of that nature, that doesn't affect everybody. Some people are okay. You know what I'm saying? So if we potentially put her in there, like she's now for the rest of her life, she's given 3 meals a day. She has time to be by herself, read books. Even if you want to take away the books, right? You're not going to take away her food, right? And at least 1 hour a day to walk around, this, that, and the third, exercise purposes, and also to stay alive. All that type of stuff. It's not one of those things where we know for sure that's going to affect her mentally. She's got a lot of time to get used to it, right? And number 2, doesn't that also kind of speak, I don't know, what's the word? Isn't that kind of looking down on certain countries in a particular way, where we can say, okay, you guys over there can do this particular thing. You guys are okay with killing people off and being inhumane. But us over here, we're holding them down. We don't do that over here. But we're going to give you our prisoners so you can continue in those primitive acts. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe we need to then look at the prison, like how it's being run, and maybe we need to change the conversation about how we deal with it. Maybe instead, like, I do think that if we bring the death sentence, it's a very tricky line, because we do know that there are cases where the evidence is clear that the person did it, but the reality is they actually didn't do it. And obviously, we know that this is a white country. If there's a way they can find to punish us, it's very easy that they can turn this against us. So I think I personally am against the death sentence. I don't think that anyone should be given the right to end anyone's life. I don't, especially not the government.
However, maybe we need to look at how the prison is being run, because I think someone that is a drug dealer can be rehabilitated, but someone like her that's just evil, that's literally Lucifer. She there's no way that, I don't think she should be killed, but I think there should be a way where she needs to be punished for the rest of her life. And if it means that wherever the powers may be, you need to have a conversation about how do we handle this, how can we lock her up? But she doesn't need anything human. Like, people say she has rights. She doesn't have rights. I'm sorry, if you can kill 7 babies and not have any conscience and be stalking the parents, you're evil. You literally have no rights. So I don't know. It's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. We need to look into the prison system and think about how. Usually, I don't like paying tax for anything, but my tax, if they want to spend more tax money on ways to,
you guys are killing me with this.
If they need to find a way to, I don't know, separate people that are just evil. They need to just figure it out, man. But I don't think she needs to die, though. I don't think anyone needs to die, because once you bring that into it, it's a tricky conversation, because it's easy to, like, if the government doesn't like someone, or Jimmy, there's always going to be a bit of a corrupt nature to it. So.
All right, thank you very much for calling, Stella.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, your groove back, baby.
Your groove back.
All right, I feel like we covered most points. Oh, last question. Let me just ask you guys. Same question I asked Von, yeah. Do you guys feel like, what's more important to you guys? Prison being punitive or it being a place for rehabilitation?
Depends on the crime.
Okay.
Depends on the crime.
Depends on the person as well.
With thefts, you can do some rehab, man.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Good morning. This is Mav. How you guys doing?
You're good, man.
All good, man. Thanks for calling. Talk to us.
That's all right, man. I've only got 3 things.
Only
the first
3?
one being...
That's a lot.
Yeah, man. Long, yeah. It's going to be quick, though. It's going to be quick. The first one is just regarding the law. I think a lot of us are putting a little bit too much hope and stock into the law, especially the one that we are living in under. It's not designed to be just. There's a lot of things that it's meant to obey and facilitate, and that is not mortality or justice. So that's the first thing. Second thing is similar thing with the NHS. That the NHS, or just national health services across the world, generally they're not built to save and preserve human life. They're also built to regulate mortality to a degree. So I think thinking that the NHS, it's idealistic to think they should do this or do that and deal with this person like this. And these are things that should happen, but they don't happen on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. So this is a conversation that affirms humanity to me, but I don't think we're ever going to see these things that we're describing, unfortunately. And lastly, I think Iman's you're getting close to a conversation which is quite interesting, and it's the nature-nurture debate, because the whole death sentence, do you think that people are born like this? And if they are, then, the death sentence sounds kind of calm.
That's interesting.
If they're not, because how people talk about, the Hitlers of the world, the Stalins and whatever, and their parents, were they raised to be like that or not? Or is this a nurture situation to where Lucy didn't have the chances that maybe we all had, and because of a few mistakes and deliberate things and whatever, an environment, she's led to a point where she's doing these kind of things, which means you can essentially walk her back to where she should be. I don't know how long that will take, but that's a conversation that I think a lot of people should get to first before when they get to like the punishment and stuff like that, because you probably question how, like, what your opinions after that, because a lot of people generally think they're on one side, but they're actually on the other.
That is true.
But the thing is, where do we draw the line if we keep every crime that's committed, we look back at that person's life and say, well, what brought them to this point? Like, for example, if you look at the Arcady case, right? It came out that he was abused.
Jesus Christ.
No, it came out that he was abused by his sister, his family members. So should he be given grace for his crime because what happened to him? Because right. So with every case, we're gonna look at that person's history and say, is this nature, is this nurture? Were they born like this? Were they abused as a child? Were they victim to whatever it may? Is this PTSD? Is this trauma? It's a thing like you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
so you're falling more so towards the nature thing then. So you just think mans are wrong, and regardless of his environment or whatever, fuck all the albums and that, like dead him.
It depends on it depends on the crime, right? With this crime in particular, for me personally, I don't want to hear about what brought you to this point. I don't care. You've killed 7 babies, maybe more. I don't want to hear about, well, maybe she suffered from this. I don't personally, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Because it's that extreme.
Yeah, it's that extreme for me. I don't want to give her grace and say, okay, cool, let's look into her history and her childhood and her parents. No.
So you think there's degrees in which you can consider the nurture thing. So you think after a certain type of crime, it's like, I could not care less if you were raised by wolves, you're gone.
The thing is, even if, for example, you did suffer as a child and your crimes are a result of it, if the crime is that heinous, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to overlook that. Even if there is evidence, I'm going to overlook it because the crime you committed is that heinous, I got to overlook that. I can't give you grace now because you've gone above and beyond. You've gone above and beyond, I'm sorry. Even if I was to give you grace, you've done too much now for me to consider that.
So maybe the punishment may just be in the way we kill you.
There you go.
Mav, let me ask you this question, Do you feel like, what do you call it? Like you mentioned the whole Hitler thing, right? If, for example, we had, the benefit of going back in time and seeing Hitler as a baby, knowing what he was going to do.
I've heard this question before.
Yeah. Somewhere. Like, do you feel like we're justified in killing him? Do you think it would be even a good thing to do?
I think if I'm... Okay, so like, if you're being religious, so like, I'm a Christian. If I'm being like holistically, spiritually sound, I cannot say that's I can't completely say that's the right thing to do. Okay, but if I'm being just regular myself, my mind, my own, just what I think and want, yes, 100%. Because in that way, you're you're killing one life to save millions.
Yeah, but the thing is, Go on.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to say, then you completely change history then. Someone might come and replace Hitler. Right? Going back and changing the past. What's that?
Well, see, this is the thing. It's like, it's that whole, like, Avengers, what's this guy's name? It's the whole change in one thing and then that has a knock-on effect on all these kind of
different
things.
timelines.
So then you have to question...
Different point in time, stuff like that.
This is the thing. So you have to question how much you're revolving your world. Like I don't know, like you're putting yourself and your ideas at the center of life. So there's some people that don't even know Hitler or know the history of Hitler or what he did. Their societies and whatever weren't even affected. But because we in the Western world think the whole world revolves around our tragedies and our celebrations and whatever, we think that death could positively impact the world when there's a huge amount of the whole world that don't even know what my man did. So for me to even think that, like offing him is the thing, it's like, it's the thing as far as the Western world is concerned, but like putting the Western world first that's, I don't know how much I want to align with that, but what I do know is he's a wrong one.
Yeah.
And, like stopping him from doing what he did would have saved a lot of people's lives. And then, it just gets all complex after that.
Yeah. I guess one last thing I wanted to ask you, do you feel like us not having the capital punishment kind of in some ways could be seen as belittling or like cheapening human life? The very fact that we can kill people, in this case, multiple people. This woman, if she had her way, she would have killed the entire ward for years to come. And we still feel some type of way about not taking her life. Are we cheapening life in some way?
I think there's a huge white supremacist influence behind the idea of like preserving life and not like not trying to kill like people who have killed a lot of lives, because I think historically we understand that the biggest killers, the most notorious killers, look like her, maybe like a male version of her, whatever it is. Like that's them. So it's very easy for said demographic to be like, no, like let's be somewhat more spiritually higher than that. Let's be more. Let's choose a different moral high ground. There must be another way than killing, because it's not good for them. So I think it is. I think it's a start. I think it's pretty. I think it's nice. And I think towards this, like Lucy, there's thousands of Lucy's. All right. I think being black and dealing with the NHS, just National Health Services in general, and looking at the mortality rates of black women during childbirth, or just in care, lets us know that this isn't as like anomaly as we want to think.
Yeah.
It's just that it's been like broadcasted in the way that it is. But there's thousands of Lucy's. There's thousands, and they look all different types of blondes and strawberry and blue and brunette. All of it. Yeah. So it's. I think that's a bit more chilling than this specific thing and the number of babies. There's women that have racked up mad numbers. So like, I think that's what is more to understand than to pick if killing off these people is the right move. Personally, I think it is, but yeah.
I hear you. Thank you very much for calling, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mav.
No worries, man. Take care, guys.
You too. All right. I feel like we've gone through it, man.
Sure have. Let's get into our headlines.
Before you start, Brent, turn off subscribers only chat. I put a pic on there. New account. I can't upload a new pic on this account, and new accounts aren't allowed to chat even when subscribed. KMT for all. I'm idiot. YouTube.
Sounds like excuses to me.
Well, Brent was just reading something. We're trying to figure something out.
Yeah, let me see if that changed, because maybe that's why D's picture doesn't show up for everybody. So let me see if that works. I'll try it.
Yeah, but why don't they just subscribe then?
I'm not sure that he's saying he.
Okay,
isn't
just
subscribed.
that thing. Okay.
I think I don't know.
All right. Cool.
Good morning.
Oh, morning. I'm just wanted. Sorry, I'm the late caller, but I just wanted to talk on it from a nurse's perspective. Actually, I wanted to talk from a nursing perspective. So, yeah, my name's Naomi. I currently actually work as a ward manager.
Okay.
So, from the perspective of prison sentence, I definitely agree with the idea of she should be, let's say, for example, on life on death row, and then in like 20 years later, there be a retrial to see if there were any other evidence that they could gather. Because when I looked into the case, there were actually other families that didn't get a verdict because there wasn't any substantial evidence. And obviously this had been going on for a good 18 months. It's probably one of the longest murder cases that's ever been done in the UK history. So for certain families, they didn't get their verdict on whether Lucy actually killed their child. So I think they should take the time to really gather all the evidence and then probably retrial her again. And then from there, they can make whatever sentence they can. And then you never know, in the UK, there might be changes in the law that would enable this, but who are we to tell? And in regards to the UK prison system, we all know it's all designed for rehabilitation purposes. It's not designed like how in America, it'd be a bit more torturous and you do a bit more laborious work. But in the UK, I think they have this perspective of everyone can be rehabilitated, to be honest with you. That's why you see people in prisons, they go to uni, they learn cooking skills, they learn trades. It's not a perspective of, it's more, we're protecting the government, but in turn, we're going to rehabilitate you to see if you can become a good person. So from a nursing perspective, there are multiple things that just show that she's just a heinous person. And I think the reason why she got that life sentence is because, think of it, there were vulnerable, essentially, obviously, the vulnerable babies, but she actually tapped like vulnerable adults and families. Think of it. Those children that she looked after were probably one of the most sickest kids. They literally had just been born. And a lot of these kids were miracle babies, to be honest with you. A lot of these ones, they would have been told before, your babies might not be able, probably is not going to survive. So, and then in that, when you have a nurse that looks after, you have a nurse that you become familiarized with, you automatically, us as humans, we gain that trust. We go home and think, oh, it's all right because Lucy's looking after my child and she's looked after her before and she's such a nice person. And also, I hate to say it, but because obviously she is white, there's all that automatic nature that you think, oh yeah, she's an angel, she can do no harm, and you see it in the media. Never did they show her mugshot. It was always the picture of her in her uniform smiling. It was never a mugshot because they wanted to portray her as some sort of angel, to be honest with you. So obviously the parents went home and she's done these heinous attacks on these kids, and I damn well know for sure she definitely killed off more kids, but the way she was able to cover her tracks, it was only until they searched her house that she kept certain pieces of paperwork. She was so calculated with what she did. But I think in order for us to really, in this setting that we are in, the UK, the only way we can truly see justice is obviously, Lucy getting that life sentence where she will be won't be able to come out of hospital, and also all the people that there are other people that are accountable for this. For example, the CEO, the CNO, which is the CEO, which is like the chief executive of the hospital, the CNO, which is the chief nursing operator of the hospital, and obviously it goes down to like the unit managers, the trust managers, because they would have all known about this. From a perspective, when you have a nurse. Like, just based on my example, if on my unit I had a nurse who had, let's say, for example, made one mistake, I'll call them into the office and be like, right, what happened? I'll investigate this mistake and be like, okay, right, let's not make it happen again, because everybody has human error. A second time, I'll be suspicious. I'll be thinking, what's going on? And then obviously there will be certain processes that you have to go in place where you have to obviously body this nurse up with somebody else. But the fact that there were multiple different cases, and the fact that her colleagues, obviously these consultants, the doctors, raised multiple concerns, it would have gone to the unit manager. And the fact that nothing was done showed that they let her, the system is the problem. And it's really hard because when you hear about people saying that they don't trust, they don't trust the NHS, this is a true example why they don't trust the NHS. There are things in place, policies in place to protect people, to protect those kids. But quite frankly, they just didn't abide by them. And so because of that, all of these individuals all need to be accountable. So whether it's you remove their license and you show to the UK government, UK public, like what happened was wrong, and all those people accountable, they all will be removed. And I think that would truly give other people solace, but also so to any of the other undercover Lucys, like, listen, whatever you're planning on doing, you will be discovered. That's what I'm, from my perspective, that's what I think should happen.
Thank you very much, Naomi. Like you basically answered all the questions that I wanted to ask you, like in one go. So that was perfect, man. Thank you very much.
I trust her.
Real. Yeah, thank you. You guys are great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, take care. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Oh yeah. You already done the headline thing, innit? All right, cool.
I guess
So
that was naive for me to say that, to be honest. That's how
that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it started.
All right. So first headline, guys. This takes us again back home, man, to Africa, where, guess what? Footage purportedly showing the Wagner leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, in Africa has appeared on a Telegram channel linked to the mercenary group. So the video has been shared by Russian media outlets, and it's the first time that Prigozhin has been seen clearly in footage since the short-lived Wagner rebellion in June. Previously, we saw a grainy video appearing to show Prigozhin at a Wagner camp in Belarus. But in this latest footage, Prigozhin said that his group is working and everything is the way we like it. Wagner, this is what he said also, is conducting reconnaissance and search operations, making Russia even greater on all continents. He adds that the plan is to make Africa even more free and to bring justice and happiness to the African people. Wagner has been accused of a raft of war crimes in Africa. Of course, his article's going to say that, but I guess you can't put it past any European, to be fair. But Human Rights Watch previously said that the group had had executed and forcibly disappeared several dozen civilians in Mali. So that's what they've been accused of. But the next headline is leaders from developing countries representing almost half of the world's population, including China and Russia, are to meet in South Africa for a key summit aimed at reinforcing their alliance as a counterweight to the West. So the Brics Grouping Summit in Johannesburg, which starts on Tuesday, will be hosted by the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and brings together the Prime Minister of India, as well as the presidents of China and Brazil. Dozens of leaders of other countries in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East will also attend, many hoping to be invited to join the bloc. Russia will be represented by its foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, after Vladimir Putin decided not to travel to Johannesburg to avoid forcing South Africa to choose between fulfilling conflicting obligations as the host of the summit and as a member of the International Criminal Court. Because obviously you guys know that they want to get this guy now, innit? So obviously the ICC has issued an arrest warrant for the Russian president for alleged war crimes in Ukraine that would have theoretically compelled South Africa to detain him. And so this is why Putin will only attend virtually. The summit may see the Brics group, whose economies account for a quarter of global GDP, of the gross domestic product, take a clearly anti-Western turn. This raises the prospect of a new and re-energized economic and political actor against the US and its allies in world affairs. On Sunday, Ramaphosa sought to reassure concerned observers and domestic opponents that South Africa would not be drawn into a contest between global powers and wanted to avoid a world that was increasingly polarized into competing camps. He told viewers in a televised national address, our decision not to align with any one of the global powers does not mean that we are neutral on matters of principle or national interest. And that's it for the headlines. Time to pay them bills.
All right, let's get into some word on road. All right, so yesterday, as you guys remember, we spoke about Ashake sending out the sending out the O2 and the criticism and backlash he was getting around having a concert 9 months after the last tragedy in which 2 people sadly lost their lives. And we had someone send a voice note. Did you say you can play it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we've got someone who sent a voice note about the whole incident and how the conversation was really about what would have been the right thing for his team to have done for the families that lost lives, essentially. But yeah, so we've got a voice note to play.
People, hope you're doing well. It's the Ghost of Koi. I haven't called in a minute because I keep missing the stream because my work start time has changed, so I can't call in on topics I want to speak about, so I thought it might just be easier if I send a voice note. So yeah, I just want to talk about the Ashake incident. Like, that was really close to home for me, and because personally I know Rebecca, and like I was one of the people who received the phone call on the day of when it happened, of what happened to her and everything. So I don't want to actually reveal who I am. It's probably bait to the people who know her by my voice, but yeah, I just want to provide some clarity from like the family's point of view. It's true what Esther was saying, like how his team hasn't reached out to any of us or like even like to say anything. Probably because he doesn't want to call and apologize, because there's always legal stuff with that kind of thing. Once you apologize, you're essentially accepting blame for these kind of things. And it's not that we expect Ashake to come and give us like money for this, because from what we believe in and all of that kind of stuff, like that's blood money, if you get what I mean. Like, that's not what the family wants at this point. What we want is, we're still searching for justice, you get what I mean. So it's a bit tough for us to like continue if obviously life still continues. Life always goes on, like we understand that. But the whole issue with the Ashake thing is the timing. Like, we literally had the funeral and the ceremony and everything end of March, and then literally a month later, that's when he's announcing he's doing the O2. So it's like, at some point we have to look at humanity and not just money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't do a concert this year, that's cool, because it's not like he's gonna miss out on anything. He could do the O2 the year after. But at this point, the family, we're just wanting justice. Like, there's still no clarity on what's actually happened in the situation. There's still so many questions unanswered. Like, I know people are essentially saying that like Ashake is not the one to blame, but that's part of the reason why we're like we have the feelings that we have towards Ashake, because there was also rumors about the concert being oversold. Not just like, there was an issue with the website that they may have sold too many tickets. Obviously, there's people rushing the doors. There's people buying, paying off security guards. There's not enough police. Like, there's bare stuff that as a family that we want solved in it. And it's just kind of like a slap in the face that he hasn't reached out to any of the family and he's just continuing doing shows and all of that. Like, you can do your shows in all these other countries and all that. Obviously, we're not the power in charge of telling someone else what to do, but like I said before, it's more to do with the humanity of the situation. And like, I feel like we just want answers before everything just gets forgotten. Travis Scott, when Astroworld happened, he took like, how long was it? Was it 2 years off before he did another show? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these things, like, they matter to the people who are involved. I just want to end it by just saying, like, just everyone, I know everyone's got their opinions and all this stuff, but remember, there's 2 young boys who are growing up without their mother. And so when you're in these comments and all these things, her family does see it. Like, we see all the comments on show, but we see all of that. So just like have some like tact when you're discussing these kind of things. Cool, everyone's got their opinion and all that. And this is not me getting onto you guys, because I listen to the show every morning. You know what I mean? Since you guys started, and I'm happy that you guys can have like discourse about what you believe on these sort of topics. But yeah, just remember that like at the end of the day, there's family who are missing someone who they loved and cared about.
Yep.
But I do want to keep making it clear, because I think people miss that point. No one is saying that it was his fault. There was multiple faults. He's one of them.
Thank you very much for that voice note, Ben.
Yes, thank you very much, and very sorry for your loss, and I pray for healing and for you and your loved ones.
Amen.
All right, so, well, okay, her name's, Khadijah Haqq, I believe her last name is. Haqq? Anyway, she's one of the twins who is friends with Khloe Kardashian. People really know the other twin. What's her name? I'm thinking Melissa. It's not Melissa.
Michaela?
No, it's not Michaela.
Okay. Why do I know
Khadijah and...
It's about the black girls, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Khadijah and... I just remembered a second ago.
Google it.
Yes, please.
Is it Malika?
Malika. Is it Malika?
Something like that. I think so. It's
yeah.
a mess something.
Anyway. But basically, her sister Khadijah, the one who's not up Chloe's bum, she's been married for like 13 years. And in very sad news, she and her husband have separated. Oh. So she put out a statement and she said, "Now more than ever, I have been relying on prayer. Family is so important to me. Unfortunately, life has brought me to tremendous transition. After 13 years of marriage, 16 years together, and 4 incredible children, I have come to the intensely difficult conclusion that while Bobby and I have a great deal of love for one another, it's best we move forward separately. I did not come to this decision lightly. For the most part, I have kept my relationship private for the benefit of our family. I share this not because I believe it's newsworthy, but so that we go about our lives with honesty and to begin the journey of co-parenting. I'm so grateful for my incredible support system." She's been my favorite twin. I don't really follow them like that, but I've always liked how she just lives like away from the limelight, just minds her business, not really trying to be a Kardashian. Literally in a wholesome life. I didn't even know she had a husband of 13 years.
It is Malika and Khadijah.
Malika, yeah, that's it.
They were in ATL, weren't it?
They're from ATL?
No, they were in the film ATL.
Oh, yeah, they were. So she's always been like, I feel like she's just like the karma twin. She just minds her business, man. So my heart, I do pray for her, and I hope that, everything with separation goes well and they're able to deal with that, because she's a very wholesome lady. But yeah, man, love to her. Also, TMZ has reported, because only TMZ is reported at the moment, that Rihanna and ASAP Rocky have welcomed their second child.
Oh, nice.
And they had a boy. So cute. She's a mum. She's a... What are you guys called? The parents who just boys.
I don't know.
Mum
got
boy?
Girl dads.
Mum boy?
Mum boy, sounds weird.
Girl dad. Oh, sorry.
Boy mum.
Boy mum, sorry. I had
boy mum.
that's
it.
Wrong around.
Yeah, so she's a boy mum to 2. How cute, man. How cute. She's cute, man. I loved her entire pregnancy era. I loved the look she was serving, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, apparently the baby arrived on the 3rd of August. The baby is an August baby. So the baby's good vibes by default. So yeah, congratulations to Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. And my last bit is it actually takes us back to our topic of the day. And it's about Dr. Shola, who posted, she basically was talking about the Lucy Letby situation, as everybody else was. She was getting cooked. And it was sad because she was getting cooked by some black people as well. But then, some black people, when I expand your picture and I see the people that are co-signing what it is that you're saying, I'm like, makes a lot of sense. Because I feel like as a black person, if I speak about something to do with race and there's and it's all white people in my DMs co-signing what I'm saying, that's a problem. That's a big problem. But anyway, Dr. Shola Shogbamimo said, Lucy Letby exemplifies how ideology of whiteness keeps Britain in a chokehold. They believed her tears, denials, even though evidence said otherwise, for no other reason than she's white. A black or brown nurse would have been reported to the police immediately and sacked for suspicion. Do you know what I just clocked? I've not clocked the whole time. The picture of her that's around everywhere is her holding a baby's little romper.
It's a goddamn shame.
Do you know how mad the media is?
Do you know what the thing is though? I'm also hearing a different perspective that potentially they've done these type of angelic type of nonsense photos to kind of make us aware that don't take things on face value. That if somebody who looks like this, right, can do this, be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Like this how heinous it is. You know what I'm saying? Like how much of an evil, conniving
person she really is.
You know what I'm saying?
Underneath all what looks like a precious. Do you know I don't believe that though? Like I hear that would be an argument if we lived in a country that did not use the wrong pictures of black people on BBC every other week. They're talking about Raheem Sterling, now we've got a picture of Stormzy. Talking about gigs, now we've got Mo Gilligan. Also, when young black kids are kidnapped or they're killed or something tragic's happened to them, the pictures they use of them never give innocence. You know? So there's an agenda, there's a propaganda already with the media and pictures that I even think that using that picture, because who was it? One of the callers said how we haven't seen a mugshot of her.
Yeah,
that didn't even occur to me that she could have had a mugshot, you know. I didn't even think of that. But it's true. We saw Trump's one the other day.
Yeah.
Anyone that didn't like, we see the mugshot so quickly. Do you get what I mean? But with this woman, you've got her holding baby clothes. Do you know how mad it is to have, she killed babies and you've got her holding baby clothes. But anyways, then Dr. Shola goes on to say, Dr. Ravi Jayaram, so this is the South Asian doctor who was one of the initial ones who raised it, who was threatened with losing his job and was forced to actually sit opposite this killer and apologize to her for bringing this up, because apparently all of that stuff caused her a great deal of stress and it was affecting her mental health and it was just very stressed. It was a very stressful and sad time for her. So he had to apologize for all of that stuff. Please note, the first tweet Dr. Shola said was that if it was a black or brown person, they would have investigated them.
Facts.
And then please note that in the next tweet, she's pointing out how a brown person did highlight it, but that brown person had to apologize. But somehow the people in the comments did not put two and two together.
It's disgusting.
So she goes on to say, Dr. Ravi risked a lot in raising alarm about Lucy Letby. If she wasn't white, I have no doubt his suspicions of her would have been taken seriously, reported to the police, and he wouldn't have been made to apologize to her. Innocent babies died because of ideology of whiteness. She goes on to then show a screenshot of a post Dr. Ravi's actually made since all of this was going on. And he says, many of you are aware that due to the Lucy Letby trial, I have mostly been absent from social media over the last few months. My heart goes out to the families of the babies affected by this, although nothing can ever undo the evil that was inflicted on their children. My colleagues and I have lived this for the last 8 years. Are we deeping that?
Insane.
8 years.
Insane.
My colleagues and I have lived this for the last 8 years, and the period of the trial has been the most difficult part of this. I am proud of all the frontline colleagues with whom I work for managing to carry on providing excellent care to babies and children under such pressure. There are bad people in all walks of life, and many of them are very good at hiding in plain sight. There are also people in highly paid positions of responsibility in healthcare whose job it is to ensure patient safety. I'm relieved that the often maligned criminal justice system has worked properly this time. However, there are things that need to come out about why it took several months from concerns being raised to the top before any action was taken to protect babies, and why from that time it then took almost a year for those highly paid senior managers to allow the police to be involved. The truth of what happened during that time will shock you to the core as it comes out. The safety of patients should come above any risk of reputational damage, and sometimes the right decisions might be difficult and unpopular, but executive level managers are paid to do just that. There are people out there now still earning six-figure sums of taxpayers' money or retired with their gold-plated pensions who need to stand up in public to explain why they did not want to listen and do the right thing, to acknowledge that their actions potentially facilitated a mass murderer, and to apologize to the families involved in all of this. However, I suspect the response will be fudge and misinformation, and it is now my mission moving forward to make sure they're held to account. So she added that screenshot of Dr. Ravi's message as well. And then she also went on to say, narratives about an evil person's childhood and graduation pics. They used her pictures from when she was a kid and her graduation pictures. Narratives about an evil person's childhood and graduation pics only serve to normalize white criminals and create alternative facts for their evil. British media does this deliberately, something they never do for black or brown criminals. The murder of 7 babies and attempted murder of 6 more should be legally held as corporate manslaughter. Every single hospital boss who appeased Lucy Letby and her parents should be prosecuted, fired, never work in medical practice again. Prosecute hospital too. Justice now. So that's what she tweeted. I don't see an issue with anything Dr. Shola said. It's facts. As far as I'm concerned, it is facts. There's no way brown and black people talk about their situation in the offices way too often. They get disciplinaries for worse. They get labeled things for worse. They get stigmatized. They get hassle for literally doing nothing. I cannot imagine if this was a black or brown person, they would have brought back the capital punishment. Specifically, this would have caused a review in the law for them to start looking at whether they can bring it. There would have been protests on these streets had this been the case. I don't see an issue with anything Dr. Shola said. It's all facts to me. And the fact that her angel pictures and her as a baby, literally look at the pictures that's being used. Her at different stages, where she's a baby, where she's graduating, and a stupid ugly face in court as a drawing. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And I've actually seen some news articles talking about how did she get here? How could a sweet woman who's known as her friends as the innocent one throw the friends in jail? Yeah. To know your friend did something this crazy and you had the audacity to write in a witness statement. How do you write a witness statement for this? I wouldn't write, God forbid, I wouldn't write a witness statement like this for my mother or my child. I wouldn't do it. You're sicko.
I even heard that some of them were saying, no matter what you tell me,
you're not going to believe it?
I'm not going to believe that. My friend...
Should have been that kid. Let's see. Would you have believed that was your child? And that's my thing with people. You know, I know that I'm an overly empathetic person. Mine is it's a bit much sometimes. I pray to God about it. But just a sprinkle of empathy will make you not even say something like that. Because whatever the case is, there's real life people that have been affected by this. And you sit there vouching for somebody. Like, what are her parents saying? As a parent, I'm not going to court. I'm not going to court. Or I'm going to be in the courts, but I'm on the side that's saying prosecute her. Off with her head. Because that's foolishness to me. It's absolute foolishness.
Absolutely insane.
So no, I don't see anything wrong with what Dr. Shola said at all. At all. Not a damn thing. But there's people in the comments. Not everything. People are basically saying not everything's about race. 7 babies have died, and what you're doing now is reducing it to the race wars. This. You can't play the race card for everything. But I have my situation. My theory on that is that people that don't like to have the uncomfortable conversations about racism is because they're aware that racism exists. They are very much aware. So when they try to do the whole 7 babies have died, why are we talking about race? Is because they know that really and truly, if it was a black or brown person, that wouldn't have run. It's disgusting, man. It's absolutely disgusting. This has been very, very shocking. Very, very shocking case. But I'm just glad she's where she's at. And she will, every single day until she dies, she will have the day that she deserves. And when she dies, she will have the eternity that she deserves too, because it's just wild. Anyways, that is all from me. Let's get into the People's Journal.
All right, people. Welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. You guys remember the shop Wilko?
Yes. What do you mean remember the shop? Isn't it still there?
Yeah, sorry. It's still there, but it may not be for much longer, man.
Really?
So they went into administration 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, man. So there's basically an update that we're pretty much expecting, which is said to be imminent from its administrators, PwC. And they're pretty much going to tell us what they spoke to Sky News. And they said they're going to give us an idea of what's basically going to be happening. So, yeah, they're pretty much the prospective buyers, right? But, yeah.
Funny thing is, the day before that news was announced, like a week or 2 weeks ago, it was actually in a Wilko the day before. And I actually walked in there and I thought, why is this shop open? It was in Fulham Broadway Station. And there was nothing in there, hardly.
Oh, was it?
I went there to try and find a drink or something. I went there, I thought,
really?
It was just weird. It was a weird...
It was empty.
Mixture of... Yeah, it felt very empty. And stuff that was in there didn't make sense. There was no correlation to what was in there. It just seems very random. So when I saw the news the next day, I thought, this is very ironic.
Yeah, it probably made sense.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, they knew, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, unfortunately, Wilko's 12,500 employees, right? were given some cause for optimism, though. This is what they're saying. On Friday afternoon, the GMB union said that after a meeting with the administrators, there is some genuine grounds for hope. So maybe they'll take it over and everyone will keep their jobs, or at least be given some healthy settlements or of some nature. Next thing I wanted to mention is, and this is obviously going to kind of annoy everyone, but basically, bosses at Britain's biggest companies, right, saw their pay rise, man, by almost 16%.
Of course they did.
So theirs went over inflation.
Of course they did.
And this is on average. So you.
And I know they're upset about the 16%. They're probably thinking, damn, if it wasn't for these meddling kids, it would have been higher. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is on average. So you know there's certain people who got 20, 25%, right? There's no need for me to even mention that everyone, that most workers' wages were squeezed by the rising prices, and inflation pretty much gave everyone a pay cut, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're pretty much saying that, well, the High Pay Center, so these are the people who got the figures, they said that the median pay of a FTSE 100 chief executive was £3.91 million in 2022, which is up from £3.38 million in 2021. And it said that the average earnings of a FTSE 100 boss was 118 times more than the typical UK worker, who was on about 33k a year, right? Obviously, people are saying this is extreme, especially those who are critical of this, this part of capitalism. But some of the firms are obviously arguing that they're pretty much in line with the other competitors as well. So don't just single out these guys here, you know what I'm saying? Be fair and look across the entire board. But yeah. Next thing I wanted to mention is there's a British microchip design and company, right? Their name is called ARM, and they've pretty much announced that they filed paperwork to sell its shares in the US, right? So they're based in Cambridge. They design chips for devices from smartphones to game consoles, all that type of stuff. And they're planning to get listed on a NASDAQ in September. You know what I'm saying? They haven't revealed the number of shares for the sale or the price or none of them type of things there. But it's proposed, right, that its IPO, the initial public offering, could be the biggest listing this year. I'm not giving no financial advice, guys.
Nope.
I'm just letting you know what I'm reading here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In March, it was seen as a blow to the UK because the firm opted against listing their shares in London. You know what I'm saying? So this would have been an opportunity, I guess, to kind of, make things look good, especially for the FTSE 100, if it would have broken into that. But yeah, they've opted against that, and they've gone to America. So in September, that's what's going to happen. So like I said, they publicly filed a registration statement relating to a proposed IPO. They said the number of shares to be offered and the price range for those shares are yet to be determined. But the company is reportedly looking for a valuation between $60 billion, which is about £47 billion, and $70 billion, right? For those who don't know, they were bought in 2016 by the Japanese conglomerate SoftBank. And that deal was worth about £23.4 billion, right? Prior to that takeover, though, it was listed in both London and New York for 18 years. So yeah, man, they seem to be going from strength to strength. The last thing, again, not directly linked to economics, but like I always say, economics is life and life is economics. And this particular thing is just something for the men, really. And what they're saying is, according to a new study, there's a 10-minute MRI scan which could be used to screen men for prostate cancer, man.
Sick.
Yeah, man. So the scans proved to be a lot more accurate at diagnosing cancer than blood tests. So typically, obviously the doctor would use his physical. I don't want to say.
No?
Basically.
Oh.
What?
His hands.
Yeah, his hands. He uses his hands.
Are you all right? This is about the health.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hold on. Question
serious?
question for Eman and Brent. Would you guys consider getting your prostate checked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It'll save your life.
Sometimes you just gotta go.
What?
I'm joking,
man.
No, on the real.
Yes.
I'm joking.
No, I know you answer. I'm asking him.
No, Brent would definitely go. Because
Brent would.
Love
because
it
he loves
aside.
his health.
Love it aside, you know what I mean?
There's no laughing.
You're laughing too much. I don't
I'm
understand
talking
why you're
about
laughing.
I'm talking about
Sorry. No.
What age is the recommendation for men to go?
I think it's 40 plus.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna pull your birthdays and your date of births down.
Hey, relax over there,
I'm
young
gonna
buck.
remind y'all when time comes.
But
It's
yeah,
important, man.
Yeah. And especially black people, man. A lot of time you just don't turn up.
Is it? Because you just want to be why? You want to do why over everything. Get your prostate checked, bruv. Out here walking around
Carrying
things. You
The
don't even know.
question is, what type of doctor would you prefer?
What the heck?
Asian one.
What's that?
Asian one.
There you go.
Yeah.
An old Asian man.
Old Asian man.
There you go. Safe hands.
Gentle.
Guys are so dumb, you know.
So yeah, basically, this MRI scan thing picked up serious cancers, right? That would have been missed by PSA alone, right? Which is when they look into your blood basically and look for the high level proteins basically. That's the whole PSA check, right? So yeah, at present there's no national screening program because PSA is considered too unreliable. Although, like we kind of intimated, men over 50 can request a PSA test. So again, like Yusuf was saying, you should start checking from 40, but from 50 you can request a PSA test, like just as you will. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
Lovely. Speaking of dicks, let's get into asking for a friend. This is lovely. You lot have always wanted that, bro. What would you do?
I read it before, and I was like,
today is a damn day.
what the dilemma is this, bro?
Today is the day. You've been dying for it. You've been asking for it. Here we go. Good morning to my favorite morning show. It is probably too early in the morning for this type of question, but here goes. A friend of mine who is 19 is planning to lose his virginity this weekend to a Jamaican girl after Carnival and would like to hear from the men. Is there any advice you can give him in order to make sure she's satisfied? I'd only like to hear from Emmanuel if he's been with a Jamaican girl. Thank you, guys.
You never wrote this.
Why is he specifying that she's Jamaican?
Someone. Maybe because that's his girl, innit? So she's Jamaican. I'm seen as someone. I don't think it's a random girl.
No,
It's a girl that he's talking to.
it's planned.
Yeah, exactly.
They're linking up after Carnival.
Yeah, so she's Jamaican.
But he's not fucking her at Carnival, is he? They're going to an abode, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? They're gonna go fuck behind the float. Let's go. Whoa,
let's police presence at Carnival.
Let's ascertain the first.
You'll be on the sex offenders list, bro.
The last sentence. Have you been with a Jamaican girl before? Because he don't want to hear from you if you have.
Only been with one person in my life. I live my life.
Do you know what? You know what's mad? That's what I want my man to say on the show. That's what I want him to say. Excuse me? He's only got eyes for me. That's what I want to hear. Love that for you, King. Love that for you, King. And she in Jamaica. So
you know what I'm saying? But if we were talking hypothetically, I can try
okay, I think, try, because obviously the show, content, all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Let's do it hypothetically.
Right, question then. So as it's his first time, what struggles do you think he'll come up against so we can give him advice based on those said struggles? So as a first timer, you know what I mean? He's never been here before. This is new territory. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm assuming he's got mental knowledge.
Yeah, I feel like he's got mental knowledge. He might have watched a few things.
Yeah, watched a few things. Might spoke to a few friends.
I really hope to God that you are in a good setting.
Good setting.
It can't be behind the float. It can't be anywhere where there's no relaxation.
But the thing is, he's 19, so I'm going to assume he lives at home. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming the girl's also around the same age as him, so they both might live at home.
Yeah, so maybe go hotel.
So is this a hotel thing or is this back to one of the houses?
I'm hoping it's a hotel thing.
Oh, the hotel thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's a hotel. I'm rooting for a hotel thing.
What are we saying? We're saying Travel Lodge, Marriott. What level of hotel?
They're coming picky.
They're young as well, so it has to be like a cheap thing.
You mean? Because I'm hoping they're not these 19-year-olds that have like Dior and also LV on the bed.
They might be. They might be.
Yeah. See, I'm hoping they're straight and narrow. They work hard for their nice little job, bartender, that kind of vibe.
Oh, cool.
So okay, we're at a hotel, hotel. Right. As long as it's not 1 star and there's no homeless people sitting next to you, the crackheads next to it, it's fine.
As they're coming from Carnival, should he set some type of musical tone? Like
don't go in there with soca.
Some musical ambiance.
Yeah. Have a shower first.
Of course.
Let's all cleanse all our dirts. Definitely have some kind of ambiance.
Like what?
Just a nice R&B playlist going on. Yeah, that's a nice sexy vibe, playlist going on.
Cool. Should he have music that mirrors the tempo he wants? So during the foreplay, it starts off kind of slow. Then as he reaches his peak, the tempo increases or no?
I don't think you should think too much into the music.
Okay.
I think it's better to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because God forbid something happens with Spotify.
Yeah.
and they throw in a random
random song, and you're just there.
Oh, he's fucking the shit out of her. We don't need that. I mean,
Damn,
let's just be calm with it. I think just have a nice playlist, a nice chilled vibe playlist, but let it be background.
Okay, cool.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Let it be background so you can still hear each other and communicate.
Okay. Any refreshments? What are we saying? No.
Any snacks,
obviously,
refreshments.
a little drink, couple shots. Remember, he's 19. He might be nervous.
He definitely
He might be nervous. So do you suggest he takes a couple shots first?
He might have been drinking
from
before.
Because they're coming from Carnival.
Yeah, but don't get too drunk though.
Yeah, I'm not saying get plastered, but starting to take the edge off.
Be on like a nice little
wave.
Nice wave.
Okay, cool.
Drunk guys, ain't it?
All right.
Yeah, be on a nice wave.
Have you ever been in planned situations before? So you know when it's planned, you both know what you're there for, right? So there's no, I guess, pussyfooting around the issue. So do you suggest
I feel like there
that?
will always be pussyfooting though.
What's that again?
I feel like there always will be.
As in?
Lightly. Because you know what it is? Because no one ever wants to come across like dying for it.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
We both know why we're here, but act like you've been there before.
Act like you've been there before.
Don't be, I mean, furious.
Do you know what I mean? Like, don't just...
Also, are we assuming that she's also a virgin?
Yeah, I was going to ask that as well.
Yeah, I think for the sake of this, that's why I said don't with the tempo. You know, don't be hurting people, man. This is...
No, I don't... Hold on. Do you think she's a virgin or she's not a virgin? Because I was looking at this like she's not.
Oh, I thought she is.
Because they didn't... I felt like if she was, that would have been put in there.
Actually, we're both virgins.
I think it's important.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
And if she isn't, she probably doesn't know that he is.
Yeah, she might not know who he is. Yeah.
So I guess we got to kind of do a safe one to cover all bases, right?
All bases, yeah.
Do you feel like... I feel like definitely has to set the mood.
Set the mood.
Because he himself, right, the fact that he's asking what his friend's asking, 19, he cares.
That he might be nervous,
yeah.
Set the mood, but set the mood in the room. But I think set your body mood as well, as in like, smell nice.
Yeah.
Smell yummy.
Yeah,
like,
shower, cologne.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good...
Yeah.
That's the girls go.
Good pant.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
No?
No, that's right. You don't really listen to pants after a while. But, yeah, that's
well, you don't care if your man takes the vagina and he's wearing some, like, just checkered boxers.
Oh, I don't want to see that. Excuse me? The baggy joints.
The baggy ones, yeah.
I couldn't see that, Yusuf. I could not see that.
That's
actually, so nice underwear as well.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, sorry, quickly. Quick super chat from Chims, $9.99. He said, Tracy, come outside.
Chim, stop spending all your money on TDA.
No, leave him. Keep it coming.
When I actually go to that, I'm only allowed to order one cocktail.
Yeah.
That's why you said what you said.
Of course. Why else do you think?
All right, Esther.
I'm sure he has money to spread.
Oh, yeah.
He must do if he's giving all that to us. Socks on or socks off?
I'll let you guys know how the date goes. Socks on. I don't really... do you know what? Yeah, it's funny because we're talking about that at 3 Shot Show, weren't they? I like playing footsies.
Okay.
But I'm a cute... Like, I'm a... Like, I'm... Do you know what I mean? I like playing footsies.
During.
I don't mind.
Or you just mean before or after?
During, that's not really my focus.
Okay.
But...
You mean like after?
Yeah, you know when you're just laying there, you're chilling, or even like before, like... Yeah, so I'm not fussed about socks on or socks off, unless you got like feet that look like...
Okay, cool.
Make sure you cut your nails though, if that's the case.
Yeah, they'll be scratching up my body. Right? What? Nah, I'm leaving here with battle scars.
Yeah.
And for what? Yeah. So socks on, socks off, I don't really mind. But if you're not confident in your feet, put the socks on, man.
Okay, cool.
Now, I was just going to say, like, obviously he specified Jamaican, yeah. I feel like he's thinking, because she's Jamaican, she might have...
Experience and...
Oh, so like she might
have a certain level of experience.
No,
certain level of expectation.
Expectation's high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe may behave different and want different things in the bedroom.
I'm not gonna lie. Her being Jamaican,
I don't know what that's going to do.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, there you go.
So are we saying Jamaican women want different things than Nigerian women or Ghanaian women or?
Well, you guys would know. I'm a Nigerian. I'm an only Nigerian woman. So Jamaican women, do they want different to other?
No, I think sex is sex. Women are women. I don't think it's specific to country of origin.
Yeah, but also I get why he's asking though, because if you think about like Carnival, for example, again, I'm not trying to, you know how people get emotional around Carnival, but like
it's all hypothetical, so it doesn't matter.
Thank you very much. Hypotheticals, right? There's certain things that I guess you expect that you see Jamaican women or just Jamaican culture do and behave a particular way, their aura, whatever it may be, certain dance moves and certain things that you don't necessarily associate with Nigerian or African girls, right?
Yeah.
Not all African, of course, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like he's thinking that sort of thing may translate into the bedroom.
I think that's more so with older women and maybe yardies.
Okay.
As opposed to a young 19-year-old who's probably born here.
Okay.
Okay. I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Folk, what else are we saying?
Obviously his first time, you know what I'm trying to say, we don't know how long, you know what I mean? We don't know how long he's got the tank. What do we advise to do?
You don't know how long what?
We don't know how long he's got in the tank. So what do you advise him to do in terms of his pacing?
I think he needs to, first of all, he needs to do some foreplay. Like, don't you
No,
dare
foreplay. Sorry, ask it for, okay, go, foreplay.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to foreplay, get her in the mood,
Yeah.
set the mood for her, pleasure her.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, what other conversations you guys have been having in the past.
List the things he could do in
foreplay. Up in here.
Just give us a top 5.
You can Google
Okay,
that.
cool. Kissing.
You have to kiss.
Of
I think
course,
any
kissing
man,
is standard.
If you have
Yes.
sex with a man and you're not kissing, he hates you.
You like to be kissed other places besides your lips?
Kissing all around works.
Just kiss it all over the body.
Kissing Yusuf works.
Okay, cool. And next one?
That's what you're giving the list.
Okay.
Listen, we all know what foreplay is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do what you need to do.
Okay.
Do what you need to do to get her in the mood, to get her relaxed,
Yeah.
to get her feeling you. That's what I would say.
Okay,
Don't
cool.
ignore foreplay.
Okay, cool.
And
Alright.
then
Would you
gently go into the act.
would you advise a specific position to start with as he's a rookie?
For sure.
What's
I think
the
missionary.
easiest position to do?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
you got to start with missionary.
All right.
Don't let her feel like it's just. I feel like dog is very impersonal.
Missionary the whole time, or should we have into set times?
It depends, because if it's their first, say it's both their first time.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to say, but it's not going to be great.
Oh, just missionary the whole way through.
No, but I don't feel like it's not going to be great. They're going to be exploring each other. I don't think they have time to cover
That's also,
4
but that's
positions.
she might be. I'm not obviously if she's 19.
Yeah.
How much experience could she have had? But who knows?
But then
right?
will he feel away though if she's telling him what to do? That's another thing. It's that things you guys been talking about before you got to the sex part. Well, you got a few days. You can talk about these things quickly before Saturday hits. Do you get what I mean? Because if it's a thing where she's had sex before, she knows what she likes and whatever. Will he feel, if he feels not insecure, but if he's conscious of the fact that he's a virgin, is he gonna feel a way that she's directing him?
Okay, cool.
Do you get what I mean?
So is it?
But-
Do you think he should fake it until he makes it? As in
think
go
to
in
be
there
confident.
like he knows what he's doing, as opposed to going in there vulnerable, like help me.
Nah, not on a help me vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
But who knows?
But-
Even though it's his first time, he may not. Obviously, we have this dilemma, but he may not be super.
He might know what
timid.
he's doing. Yeah.
He might know what he's doing to a
exactly.
degree.
Yeah.
I think just go in there present and like confident, but not cocky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think,
And communicate. That's
Yeah.
my thing. But I think that's why I said don't put the music too loud so you can
Yeah.
hear each other. But communicate.
Okay.
Ask her, does she like that? Is
Yeah.
that okay? Is this it? Communicate.
Yeah.
But like that, the other C as well, compliment, man. Compliment. Like, flood the compliments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Flood the
Yeah.
compliments. Set the mood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Esther, what duration for you would be adequate for this?
It's so funny because this definitely was addressed to you, though.
I'm just trying to be inclusive.
Here I am. Oh, is it now?
And
You've
also,
got opportunities.
and also, if he felt like he was falling short of his time expectations, what advice would you give him to,
Does this include foreplay? Because I feel like
Home it in.
foreplay is where the party is really at.
say again?
Like foreplay takes the most time.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like that's the lead up to it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the longer time because
Yeah.
biology will do what biology does. Then
Yeah.
this party will end
Yeah.
by biology's nature. I
No,
don't know. I don't know
the
in
party
terms
will
of
end,
time.
but we don't want the party to end too quick. So I'm saying if you feel like the party's ending too quick, so just to say he hit play, he hasn't even got to
going-
track 3 and he's already the album's already ending for him. It hasn't ended. You know what I mean?
Slow it down. I feel like that's you guys would know though. Can you slow it down?
No,
after that?
I know what to say, but
Stall.
I'm just trying to see if you're gonna say something.
No, I don't know. I feel like maybe slow it down a bit.
You can pull out, change position.
Okay, yeah. I
Right.
guess that's when you could change
Sure.
it.
You know what I mean? Pull out. That's it. For sure.
For sure.
Pull out, change position. You know what I mean?
Please, oh my gosh, protection.
You can.
Please, no protection.
Oh shit!
That's the biggest
Sorry.
one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Protection,
Please,
man.
that's
Make
the
sure
biggest
you lock the door, bro. You know what I mean?
Please.
I think so to
I
kind
hope
of
you've had
take it.
sex.
That joke, you missed that joke.
Lock the door.
That's to make sure you lock the door. How much dropping good jokes are you guys? This is
You're
terrible.
wasting
I'm
material
wasting
on
material, bro. Brett, you get a joke?
No, I just got super chat, so I'm just reading it.
Oh.
What's the joke?
Don't ask me what the joke is. I said, what was the joke, you know? All right. One said, super chat, £5 from Ed. Tell the young G to move confident. Don't overthink.
That's right.
More relaxed. The more relaxed he is, the better.
That's right.
Also, let off the Mac when you wake up. What does that mean?
I know what you're
As in,
saying.
like,
Let off the
get
Mac.
one out.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Empty the clip before you get there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier.
Yeah.
But that backfired on somebody. So I remember somebody saying to me.
Yeah, because you could do it and then go on, finish your story.
And then, well, to be fair, this brother was in a relationship at the time, right? I'll never forget. He was saying how, what was it? So basically, his girl was in uni, like outside London, innit? So he's thought, okay, you know, I'm going to go visit her, wherever, this, that, and the third. He's obviously emptied the Mac, yeah, gone over there, and obviously lasted forever, innit?
Yeah.
So you're thinking, wait a minute, have you been linking other chicks?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously, that might not
Really?
be.
She said that?
You know, women like to
his
just
full flame has
find
been
problems
dead.
where there's no problems.
Sex has been dead.
No, I just think
Nah,
the
it
man...
never was, because she always wanted it to be over. She's thinking, gosh, get off, and she's like, you're still going.
Let off the Mac.
Yeah, the sex was dead. I hate to say to your friend, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Ed's saying if you let off the Mac, you'll last longer.
Okay, well, that's good. I think like it's the, you know, pay attention, protection, take care of yourself, look good, smell good.
Yeah.
Pay attention to her as well. Please
Ambiance.
her, do stuff. Ambiance definitely matters. Compliment her. That's a big one, actually, like you man said.
And also
Compliment her.
just have fun, man.
Have
Because
fun,
you know what I mean?
have a good
Because
time.
it's the taking part that counts.
Imagine.
Participation.
No, it's dead. It's a waste of a body, bruv. Well, you know, yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
And be sure you want to do it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
And this is the virgin to make sure you guys actually are on the same page and you both want to do this.
Brendan, any advice for this young?
I've never been with a Jamaican woman.
Have you been with any woman?
Okay.
Why are you
Well,
laughing at me?
Another super chat from Chims, $4.99. Esther, don't lose focus from the super chat, babes.
Okay.
what does that mean?
I don't know.
Lose focus. Was that lose focus how?
From the other person who dropped the P? You
Oh, baby, my eyes are only on you. Don't you? All right. Is that all the advice you guys have for him?
Yeah, pretty much, man. You know, I like to take these things seriously.
No, but it is because it's a dilemma. It's someone's life, innit?
Mm-hmm.
So it is serious, and it can be like nerve wracking or nervous.
Notice what he said as well.
Don't
Yeah.
ask me that.
No, but
no, don't.
if he's a Christian, he's not married. So should we be advising this?
No, he could go on a well. It's Tuesday today.
Huh?
Book a quick island trip.
What do you mean?
Do what Brent said. Come back Saturday. There you are. That's because I did feel that like I'm out here giving people advice.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's not for me though. Not everyone's a Christian. I can't. Do you know what I mean? It's not for me.
So we're just assuming he's not Christian.
No, because people are Christians that have sex.
Yeah, but not allowed to.
Yeah, but don't mean they don't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but you're advising them to have sex.
No.
telling
He
you how.
asked. I said,
Not
how?
to, but how.
This is my advice for married people, everybody. This is just a sex talk, and I'm just talking the talk.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Also, question: do you feel like 19 is late to lose your virginity?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. We're laughing.
No reason.
No, I don't think it is. I'm just looking at the world.
To be fair,
the world view in it.
He's probably now a better place in his head.
I think so.
To make that decision.
I think people lose it too early.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand. I think you just don't understand a lot more. I can imagine like having sex at 19 compared to like say 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know more, but like you understand that you don't have to. You're not pleasing just yourself. You're not having sex just to nut kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the other person as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like 19 is a very good age.
Yours was how do you?
Asking questions here. We're asking questions. That
Is it?
I didn't write into the show.
Was it too
I didn't
young
write,
to
I
say?
didn't write into the show.
Or too old to admit?
I'm
gonna guess.
I didn't write into the show.
I'm gonna guess.
I'm not looking
Blink
at
once if I'm right.
I ain't blinking for shit. Is that all the advice we have for people?
17?
You guys sharing your ages?
Huh?
Is that what you guys
If
do?
you show yours, I'll show mine.
No, because this is dynamic for the boys.
If you show yours, I'll show mine.
I'm sharing nothing.
Alright,
I'm not sharing anything on this show. But this is dynamic for the boys, so.
I lost mine at 15. How about you?
Who, me?
Yusuf,
He who the camera's on.
No, he's lying.
I've just shared mine.
You're lying.
Shared his.
Just breaking the rules.
No,
just made the rules up and just breaking it.
because you're lying.
21 then.
That's
21.
a 21 then.
That's a 21 then.
Brent, you're lying.
Say a number, please, Esther.
Nah, man.
How about you, man?
I'm trying to think of that fateful day when that wedding happened.
Just but
Okay, it's anniversary.
How did I get married?
Carry the one. They're ridiculous. Trust me, D.
What's that?
Literally, she said, Esther just like me, mind your business. Then I don't be sharing information about my non-sexcapades.
That's it. It didn't happen, man.
It didn't happen. I'm a virgin.
For sure.
Good morning, Kevin.
Morning. Is that Kevin? You look off?
I think it's just reconnecting to the Wi-Fi.
Kevin moving real sheepish, you know.
Good morning, Kevin.
Come on the show.
Guys in the chat, drop the age you lost your virginity so you can read it out.
Yeah, well.
Morning, Kevin. How are you?
The line ain't good, you know.
Yeah.
That is a mad bloomer. Here's what happened there. You know, most girls are not virgins by the time they eat. You know that, right?
By the time they what?
I said, most girls are not virgins by the time they are 19.
And who made you the hymen police? How do you know that?
Yeah, you just look up, man. The statistics and data is available. Most people are not virgins by the time they're 19. No over here, especially not in this country.
Okay, fair enough.
That brother needs to go for a little. Go on adultwork.com and go and get himself a little experience before he goes and dies. He's treating his virginity like he's a... You know, girl, your virginity got no value as a man.
I think you sung better.
First of all, where are you, bro? First of all, where are you?
So that's literally like this is like some underground chamber somewhere, locked up.
How bad is my signal bad today?
This is 2023. There's no way she sound like this. No, with 5G and all that.
I'm outside, man. I'm at a job right now. I was just listening and watching the show. And I don't know if it sounds too mad. Let me know.
Sounds better now.
Yes,
it's better.
All right then. Yeah, he's treating virginity like a... And he ain't a girl. He as a man don't have no value. Women don't want virgins. There's movies on this, like 40-year-old virgin, because it's not good for a man to be a virgin at that stage.
You know what's ironic? I was having a conversation the other day, actually, that a man's virginity isn't something that's cherished. Like, people don't really care. And I don't feel like women even want a man who's a virgin most time.
I think it...
Yeah, they don't want this brother fucking around on them.
Who do care, though. I'd marry a virgin. And I wouldn't feel any way about it.
No, you would.
I would.
No, you would not. I'll say this, and this is just that virtue thing. Like, I get you, but it's not like you don't want that brother who's fooling around, don't know what he's doing, coming early, type of things.
You don't know me personally to know what my situation is and what is I desire and what it is I'm attracted to and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Also, do we feel
No. I won't say personally, right? But most women are not attracted to a man who's not confident. The average woman doesn't want a guy who's fumbling around, know what to do, doesn't know how to talk, doesn't talk with confidence, is all in the bed going, I don't know, should I touch there or not? It's not attractive to the majority of women. It's not for you. But for the majority of women...
For the majority, though, because the way society's attitudes are when it comes to men that are not experienced and the guys who are, I guess, sleep around, they get more attention and whatever. I definitely agree with that. 100%.
Exactly.
Also, a question for everyone. Well, for the guys, right? Because I think we're putting a lot of stock behind your first time being difficult. Does anyone here feel like their first time was difficult? And did you walk away from it thinking, I didn't do a good job or I was nervous? Or was it like everything you've seen, heard, and throughout your years prior, did that kind of prepare you for that moment to where it wasn't as daunting as you thought it would be?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't as daunting. Yeah, you definitely build it up in your head much more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's because you're
like you
this
said,
is what I'm
right?
saying. That's true, but
what you just said, right? We're in 23. Most girls these days, from 16 upwards, younger, have got sex toys. Already explored a certain side of them. Availability is different for what to men. Like
Sex is not the same way for men as it for women at all. Girls have access to men way more than boys do. Most boys are still timid by the time they're 20, 19. They haven't been with enough women to have confidence. When you're dealing with a woman, you need to be confident. Otherwise, it's a turn-off.
Yeah. But okay, so what, Kevin, what advice would you give to him? Knowing that obviously, like, with experience sometimes comes, well, confidence comes with experience, right? This is his first time. What advice, what's the main, like, the priority for him? Because he's saying he wants to satisfy her. You know what I'm saying? What's the main thing?
You better easily. I'll tell him this. Sure, you do lots of foreplay. Position every time you think you're gonna nut. Yeah, because that will help delay it a little bit. You can flip over the position, act like you're not. Let me just change position quickly. That way she doesn't really clue on that you're. Listen, he tells her he's a virgin. She's gonna go, oh, I want you even more. I mean, it's the right now about that. Most girls are not going, oh, I want you even more. They're not. It's just not the.
I think it depends on how attracted they are to him. Attracted they are to him. No?
Yeah.
If the woman's really attracted to him telling her she's the virgin might not be a deterrent.
Bro, women are with all sorts of men, boy. A virgin is a great day.
Confidence.
And some women might like the fact that they're his first.
Yeah.
No?
Pop that cherry, baby.
Yeah.
Competence and confidence is attractive to women. Timidness is not. We know this. We all saw the brothers who were getting gathered. We saw the brothers who were quiet and didn't have that loudness and bravado. Get the girls. No one was interested in them. We all go to school here. We know what happens. We all know how it is.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you, Big Kev.
I don't know. I don't think his experience equates to the Will's experience.
No, obviously not. He's just giving his perspective.
Always
literally
like
from
quiet
experience.
guys. Those are the guys I've always been attracted to. Not the guys that are like the center of attention, not the ones that all always talking to girls or anything like that. But again, it would depend on what it is that you've seen.
And also, you can speak to this.
Yeah.
Having confidence and bravado and being the man doesn't make you good in bed.
They tend to be shit ones.
You know what I mean?
Because they're overconfident and they feel they've done a great job and she's just sitting there thinking, crap.
Was that Kevin?
Just come back to my ex.
It gives you a good start. Both don't really, like I said, they don't really like these quiet guys. But like when we was in youth, you grew up in South. You grew up in South. You saw the guys who were getting it, and they weren't the quiet boys. They weren't the quiet good boys. They weren't them.
Yeah, but we're assuming that this guy is some quiet, timid, shy guy, bruv. He might not be that way inclined. Even though...
19 years of age, a 19-year-old...
Yeah.
This isn't his... Yeah, it might be from him. Obviously, he might lack confidence to a degree, but he might be good looking. He might have charisma, he might have all of that charm, but he just lacks that knowledge, that confidence to do this without asking for help. It don't mean that he's got no source. If he had charm and charisma... What's that?
If he had charm and charisma, he would have got something.
No, but he might have just wanted to delay it. You know what I mean? He might have just wanted.
No, man, he's just being human. It's his first time having sex. He's allowed to be nervous. You can't
come on, Big Kev, man. Come on, Big Kev.
If it was my boy, I'd come over to Amsterdam and let him go through the red light district. Let him go and learn how to do his car. You're gonna be timid right here. That timid ain't gonna do nothing. Most girls that age are not virgins. She's already had some dude before, more than likely. You're going to come in there with performances.
In this situation now. If she's not virgin, like I'm trying to understand the relevance of you bringing that up in relation to this guy's dilemma. Does that make it worse for him?
When you're dealing with
what do you mean?
Yeah, it makes it worse for him because she's going to match him what she's previously encountered.
And he could learn a few things. Considering he knows nothing. Don't you think that's a good experience? You could learn some things.
Chims, 199, super chat. Kev, stop snitching about position changing. My guy.
I'll be honest, that's interesting.
Also, you never thought that before?
I never thought of that.
Is it?
I just thought we were just having a great time.
No, you are as well. And it's not all the time that's the case.
Okay.
But sometimes it might be the case.
Interesting. Love that.
A lot of the time, that's the case. You change position often and act like
access to statistics no one else has. Gosh.
Just look it up, man. The average girl these days are not virgin.
Look it up. No one receipt in sight.
It's all there.
Okay.
It's all out here. The average girl these days are not virgins.
Would you advise him to perform fellatio?
Yeah. My rule is always the same. If you don't eat it, you'll get taken away by someone who will.
Yeah, but this is his first time.
This is his first time, though. Like, for his first time, should he give head in his first time?
Yes.
I say yes.
Yeah. You should. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
Nah, man. If you're ready to have sex, you're ready to do it.
Baby, step him into it, man. What are you gonna? What full blown first time?
It's not eating ass and it's not anal. You've got this, king.
Let him do it further.
You can do it. Nah, man.
Don't be scared now.
So do you guys feel the same then when it comes to women? So a woman's first time, she shouldn't be given head.
That's completely fine with me.
Okay, love that for you.
Super chat
from
super chat for Miss.
You said that's all right with you.
Wait, guys. Super chat for Miss Mariah, £20. Horns, Brent. That's the largest we've had today.
I have to get a different jingle for that.
Okay, Kev, please speak for yourself and leave women alone. That's for Miss Mariah, Kevin.
Oh yeah, Miss Mariah's gonna say what Miss Mariah's gonna say, man. Like, let's be real. We're all guys out here. We've all been in the game. We all know what this is. You don't go in there with no confidence.
Anyway,
I'm a brand. Like, I think everyone's pretty much said that, man. Confidence is key.
Yeah, confidence.
As much as you can. Obviously, don't try and
be attentive to her needs, boy.
Yeah, be too confident there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fake it till you make it, no?
You're being, but...
What's that, Kev?
Fake it till you make it, no?
That's what I said earlier.
Yeah, be confident. Yeah. Don't have to let her know you're shaking your boots.
Yeah, of course not.
Be confident. But depending on what kind of situation you guys have, if you are comfortable telling her it's your first time, then do that. Like, I wouldn't be put off by a guy telling me it's his first time. I'm just more aware now. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Do you expect rounds on your first time?
Yeah.
So how you expect from the virgin the first time round?
Yeah.
Because you've been saving this up for since you've never had sex
whole life,
before.
really.
Maybe you got time. We're up all night with this one.
Super chat from Dr. O, £5. Tell her to go on the top, less likely to bust.
Depends what her knees are saying.
That might be overwhelming. No, that might be overwhelming, man. You got in your face and everything, making up the facial expressions, and that might mash up your head.
What's it called, Kev? Is there pause? If this question's a pause, yeah? Lava. Let me know. Lava. Is there a position that you last the longest in?
Doggy probably helps in it, I think. Because you ain't give facial expressions. Depends on what you like. If you're a face man, if you're a face man, then
you must be your goddamn man.
Yeah, you can't see the face. You can't see the face. Hey, don't the lip biting do it for you, I use.
What's that?
Don't the lip biting and the facial expressions do nothing, no?
The leg biting, what do you mean?
Lip biting.
The lip biting and them things there, they do nothing for you,
yeah,
no?
Of course,
the expressions, them things there.
Lava.
Please, so you turn her around so you can't see none of that.
Oh, is that how you see it? Okay.
That's how I see it. Now you can't see nothing. You can sit. You can think of as many things. You can start thinking of the Queen. All of those things.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well,
that's my cool, my people.
Thank you very much, Gary, man. Appreciate it. All right. I don't know why this came to my head here, but do you feel like? Obviously, I'm not trying to do any stereotypical nothing here. Yeah. This just came into my head from somewhere. Right? Do you feel like potentially he's planning to lose his virginity this weekend to a Jamaican girl after Carnival because he's trying to find a Jamaican girl at Carnival?
I hope this ain't something. I hope there isn't a girl in question, and he hopes to go to Carnival to find someone. I hope that's not the case.
I hope there is a girl in question.
There has to be. There's no way.
Cool. That's wild.
What's the difference between going to Amsterdam, like Kevin suggested, and going to Carnival to collect a baby? A Jamaican baby?
Because Amsterdam, she's a prostitute.
Yeah, isn't that red light, green light?
What's the difference?
No, but it speaks to his confidence.
Oh, so you get his confidence up by getting...
Yeah, it's not even a prostitute. He's going to collect one. So
that's extremely assumptive that you're going to go to Carnival and break your virginity.
Is us assuming a whole set of stuff.
No, yeah, but the main premise is that I'm assuming that he's got this planned out. There's a girl he actually knows.
That's what I said.
It's an assumption. Is it an assumption? That there's an actual girl in question that he's going to have sex with after carnival, as opposed to he's going to find one.
Yeah, because he didn't say that, did he?
I think it implies that there's a girl in question.
But we're talking about assumptions, right?
Are you saying that you've read this and felt that there isn't a girl in question that he's going to find one on the day?
No, that's another theory that we can basically assume.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that's what you got from this.
I responded to you saying that's an assumption. We've been assuming for the entire time.
I know, but the basis of our discussion was on the fact that there is a girl that he plans to have sex with.
Yes, we've assumed that.
Yes.
So we're saying if he is going to carnival to get the girl.
Didn't Emmanuel just ask the question?
That's what I'm saying. That's what he said, isn't it?
And I'm responding to that.
You can turn around now.
Anyway.
Why is he looking at me so furiously?
I don't know what's going on. I missed it.
Was that one?
Did we have a caller?
It was, but they dropped off.
Brent, are you okay? You look at me angry.
So wait, Iman said what he said. What did you say after that?
No, I've lost the train.
Yeah, I've lost the train
right now, but
okay.
In my head, him going to carnival.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the girl, because he said maybe he's going to carnival to collect the Jamaican.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm running off the back of that.
Yeah.
I said that speaks to the level of confidence he has.
Yeah.
And this boy Kevin suggested, let's go to Amsterdam. And I've said,
what's the difference?
What's the difference? And then you said, but that's a prostitute.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, him collecting the girl from carnival doesn't necessarily mean that it's prostitution.
No, it's not. So okay, cool. So you go to Amsterdam, right, to have sex with a prostitute, and you pay her directly for the service, right?
I know about that particular exchange.
Okay, cool. You go to carnival. You move to a girl that you like, and you hope that you can take her from here to your house to have sex with her.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That speaks to the level of confidence he has.
Yeah, of course.
The fact that is that he's even saying, I want a Jamaican.
I know, but I'm confused at the comparison to the Amsterdam. I don't see no correlation there. This is what I'm saying.
No, in the beginning, if Kevin said the easiest way to get him to lose his virginity is to go to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have in my mind go to Amsterdam for a prostitute.
You meant just go to Amsterdam
is a place
for
where
just...
sex is just freely done, this, that, next, right?
Okay, cool.
So if it is that you've gone
to so there's no difference. Yeah, there's no difference.
Okay, cool. I didn't know you meant just go to Amsterdam to find just a random girl. I thought you meant...
Honest, I just should have just said this conversation. I have no experience in any of this, so my fault.
No, your input is very much needed, man.
That's all right.
What's wrong with this guy, bruv?
Morning.
Hello?
Are you breaking things? Morning.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Hey, I want to respond to Kevin and the utter nonsense that he could be chatting. For starters, just like just said, not every single girl likes someone that's yapping. I actually despise men that are just talk. A nice silent man in the room is the most sexiest thing ever. Okay.
Girl, speak on it.
Compared to someone that is just loud and boisterous and everyone's on him, and that is so not my at all. So actually, when a guy like this 19-year-old is probably asking help, he seems like he's what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional intelligent enough to ask for help. Yeah. So for the fact that he's asking. Exactly. For the fact that he's asking, it shows that actually he does have confidence because he's trying to make sure he doesn't make mistakes in the first place.
Yeah. That's it. And this is what I was saying. Like he actually specified, like, I want to make sure she's satisfied. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So actually, no. Like, not everybody wants the freaking 419 guys. Some girls like the guys that sit on their desk with two screens. They're holding their glasses and they're silent. That is oh God, even just speaking about it, that is a sexy man.
Girl, okay, girl.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes loud. Yes, it is.
I know. She doesn't want brute force. She doesn't want brute force.
I don't.
No brute force.
I just. Well. Yeah. This notion that guys that are confident are loud. I said this notion that guys that are confident are loud is bullshit, man. Like, a guy can be confident, but you don't need to speak loud for that. But this guy is confident, or no.
Yeah, I hear you. So what, Valerie? Before you go,
Yusuf, what's
Yeah.
this called? You know when he asked you about? Oh no, when you asked him about the position there.
Yeah.
Is it true that if a girl goes on top and you guys are not gonna come? I thought that's different for every guy because I remember my ex. The moment I went on top, he was like, "Yeah, you want me finished, right? That's it for me."
Yeah, I think it's different. I think I last long when the girl's on top. Longer, should I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's
I
different.
think it's just
for every guy. Yeah.
different. Yeah. Sorry, man, you was gonna ask me something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what one thing would you say that he should focus on?
Well, I feel kind of doing the right thing by asking. So I think you should do that with her, per se. Communication, like what keep asking her what she wants. Is she happy? Is this all right? You okay? All that stuff. And as the thing goes, just be about it. Just be in the moment more. Like, don't think about it too much. When you're in the moment and you're asking the right questions, you're gonna get the results.
Okay, makes sense. The 3 C's, right? Confidence, communication, compliment.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
What's affirmation slap?
That's it.
Where's affirmation?
No, the 3 C's.
Oh, me?
Where'd you get it from?
You know I'm sharp.
Was it from your pastor? Where'd you get it from your pastor?
Can you imagine?
3 C's.
It's
That's
easy
good,
to, it's hard, easy for him to, remember and that,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Triple C and that.
We work in the health sector, so us is 6 C's, but yeah.
Oh, 6? God damn.
Yeah.
Like email the other 3. The 3 C's would you?
That's what the lady that killed the babies didn't have. What's the word? Competent, all of that. Basic C's that we have to abide by as people that work in healthcare sector.
Yep.
Full circle.
All right.
Full circle,
Yeah,
baby.
for real.
Nice, have a good day.
Thank you, and you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Valerie. But yeah, man, I wish you the best, man. I think we're giving some good advice.
Oh, we have,
Yes, sir?
definitely.
Yeah.
Couple of bases.
Yeah. But anyone else who's got some lovely dilemmas to send, you are more than welcome to send them to the number 075 6484 1073 via WhatsApp or text messages. Let us know if it's for asking for a friend or sis, what would you do? If you would rather email, our email address is tdasubmissions@thenewblack.com. Let's get into our last headline.
Rotation quickly.
Let's get to rotation.
No, after the headlines.
Oh, after the headlines. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
All right, so our last headlines. Britain's bill for housing asylum seekers will climb to more than £5 billion a year by the end of the next parliament, as the government's approach to illegal migration leaves thousands more waiting indefinitely for their case to be handled. This is according to a report. So adding to the growing pressure on Rishi Sunak to halt small boat crossings of the Channel, the left-leaning Institute for Public Policy Research think tank said that the Prime Minister's new Illegal Migration Act was likely to deepen the crisis in the asylum system. The IPPR said that there was likely to be a steadily increasing number of people who could not be compelled to leave the UK, but had no means of securing permission to stay and had no right to work. The report was released hours after Sunak suggested that he would not stop small boat crossings by the time of the next election, although he said figures showed a decline compared with last year. Warning that the problem could not be solved overnight, Sunak said the current system is both unsustainable and is completely unfair, but particularly unfair on British taxpayers who are forking out millions of pounds to house illegal migrants in hotels and local communities. And the last headline takes us back to America, where Donald Trump is back in the news, man. Well, he hasn't left, to be fair. Donald Trump's bond on racketeering and conspiracy charges relating to attempted election subversion in Georgia was set at $200,000. In a court document posted online on Monday, bond amounts for the 13 charges against the former president ranged from $10,000 for counts including criminal conspiracy and filing false documents to $80,000 for a violation of the Georgia RICO Act, which is often used against organized crimes. This is what they're trying to do to Trump. Terms included a prohibition of acting to intimidate any person known to be a co-defendant or a witness in this case, including in posts on social media. So this is all tied up in this, right? So authorities in Georgia are investigating threats made to grand jurors. The bond document also said that Trump shall not communicate in any way, directly or indirectly, about the facts of this case with any person known to him to be a co-defendant in this case, except through his or her counsel. Trump denies wrongdoing in Georgia and in 3 other indictments, which are have produced a total of 91 criminal charges. The charges will cover federal and state election subversion in 2020, the retention of classified information after leaving office, and finally, the hush money payments to a porn star during the 2016 election. And that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
All right, let's get into the rotation.
So did you see Chim's last super chat for you?
About my smile?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can see more of it on our date.
Okay. Oh, you going to date with him?
Okay.
I'm going to date with him.
Oh, is it? Oh, you like the look of him?
Excuse me? What did you say?
You like the look of him?
Yeah, he's good looking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you down or you just saying it because you're on the show?
I'm dead ass.
Are you down for real?
He's got my attention.
Yo, Chims, are you hearing this?
I'm serious.
So what?
I'm not playing about.
What's next now? DMs?
Yeah. I don't like public.
Are you playing or are you
I'm
just saying
shy.
this because you're on the show? Are you dead serious?
No, I'm dead serious.
We can't put SL2 forward. Chims hasn't said anything yet.
No, Chims, no, he has.
Well, as you said,
he's on it.
No, I mean, it's clear. But I mean...
It's clear.
Chims, are you hearing? Obviously, you're listening.
I'm actually serious.
Esther's saying, come true.
Yeah.
Jump in the DMs, man.
Slide in my DMs.
It's at my own royalty.
All right.
All right, cool. Brent, can you go to Drake's page quickly for me?
Drake?
Yeah, so I reported a few weeks ago, and it's been speculated that he's got an album coming out called, I think it's called For the Dogs. For All the Dogs. And he's released the album cover. And it's the one with that one. So yeah, and this was done by his son, Adonis.
I was about to say that's like a kid's drawing.
So this is Drake's son's depiction of a dog. That's what animal do you think that looks like?
I'll be honest, you look like an evil rabbit.
Yeah,
like an evil bunny.
The ears are very long. Yeah. But this continues a streak of terrible album covers by Drake. He isn't the best. But again, this must be sentimental to him because his son done it. But yeah, so the album, still no release date for the album, but at least we've got the cover now. Or the speculated cover. I hope this isn't the cover, but if it is, then I hope the music's better. But yes. All right, speaking of albums, Esther, I tagged you in this the other day, innit?
Yes.
Chris Brown. So Chris Brown has announced a new album called 11/11. Possible release date will be 11/11, 11th of November. And this will be his 11th album containing 11 songs. So there's clearly a theme here. Which is 11. The fact that on his last maybe 3 or 4 projects, he's putting out like 30 plus songs. Are you looking forward to only an 11 piece from Drake?
Yes.
I mean, not Drake, from Chris Brown.
Because you know what is, yeah, like obviously I like Chris Brown and whatever, yeah, but some of the albums with 30 plus songs, we could have left some of the songs off.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he's down to 11, he's going to pick his best 11.
Yeah,
but I don't want
Chris Brown. Do you feel like, because I asked you about his single about a couple months ago.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
I can't remember. But that says what it says.
What, the one with Wizkid?
No, the most recent one. Let me check it quickly. But I felt like when I first heard that song, I thought it was wicked. But I'd never heard it. I never heard no one talk about it. I felt like it was almost being but like not blackballed. What's that word?
Blackballed though. But Chris
shadow
Brown
banned.
is though.
No, he is. But
unless the song that go, I feel like a Chris Brown song has to go off, like go
Summer
crazy.
Too Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His songs have to go. It's not one of the songs that went off on the charts.
Because the thing is, the song came out on the 23rd of June. That was a while ago, right? The video only came out this weekend. But from when I heard this song, I thought this was going to be a smash.
Yeah.
But I never heard it, saw it being played, any talk about it. Even himself, he never really said nothing about it.
That's because he does too many songs. So he can't stay too long on one song.
Yeah. But the video just came out over the weekend. I think the video was nice as well. But I'm pretty sure he'll have a deluxe album out of this album with like...
He'll do 11 and then...
an additional 20.
This is it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it though.
All right, cool. All right, another album that I haven't listened to, but I'm just going to speak on its release and I'll check it out later. Quavo released an album called Rocket Power. And obviously this is his first project since Takeoff's passing. And obviously the title speaks to, obviously, Takeoff was known as the Rocket Man. So the title was in tribute to his cousin Takeoff, who's actually on the album as well, on track 2, called Patty Cake. Other features on there, actually Takeoff's on there twice. He's on a song called Patty Cake, another song called Back Where It Begins, featuring Future. You've also got, you got Future on there twice, Takeoff twice, no Offset, Young Thug as well. 18 songs, 51 minutes. I'm gonna check it out before the next rotation, so I'll let you know how I feel about that. But an album I have listened to is Giggs' new album, Zero Tolerance. Anyone listen to that in the room?
No, not yet.
No, Brent, you check it out? No? Hold on, I made notes on this. 1 second. Alright, cool. The album's good. I like the album. My favourite songs on the album are Shocking, the song with Pot of Paper, PAD, Pistols at Dawn is my favourite song. And then I also enjoy Grow Up with Jadakiss as well. And the title track, Zero Tolerance. So you got 18 songs on there. I feel like the production's good. I feel like the production is better than his last, I'll say, 1 or 2 albums. I enjoyed all the features. It's a solid project, but I just feel like with Giggs, it lacks something. I don't know what it is that it lacks, but it just lacks something. But it's a decent album, man. I wanted to talk about this with Margs, so I might revisit it when he's in. But I like the album. My picks would be those songs I recommended. Let me quickly check the chat and see anyone else has heard the album in the chat. Someone said Unlimited Blessings is hard. Yep. Jimmy Jadakiss is cold. Yep.
Solo said the album's way better than he thought it would be.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the album? Once in the Blue. Okay.
Yeah, Senator Slick said it was hard. That's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. The tune with Diddy wasn't even. That didn't even have to be the single. I understand why it was because you got Diddy on it, but there was way better songs that could have been the lead single, in my opinion. I think the song with Pot of Paper should have been the lead, as opposed to the Diddy song. 21 Savage song's decent as well. I didn't really. Oh, you said you were looking for the Tiny Boost one. I didn't really like it, you know. I didn't even like Tiny Boost. Even I felt like it wasn't even mixed properly.
Oh, wow.
Tiny Boost's vocals didn't sound loud enough, so even that was throwing me off as well. The Davies collab. You know what? Somehow I hate when Americans talk about UK stuff. He's talking about, take me to Nando's for a 5-piece and some wings. I said, that's not Nando's food.
5-piece, you know.
That's not Nando's food, 5-piece and wings. He goes, Peckham. Sometimes it's cringe when Americans try to just say random UK stuff.
They're playing Hangman.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, it's a good project, man. But again, sometimes with Giggs, he releases music, I listen to it, and then that's it. I don't really revisit it. And I feel like I haven't loved Giggs since Landlord. Landlord was 2016. That's had a lot of replay value for me. What's that? Oh yeah, right there, still, right there. But I'll definitely give it another spin. It's good. It's not a bad album at all. Definitely something you can listen to in the gym while you're driving. Very good street music. Features are dope. Beats are dope. Here we go.
Good morning, caller.
Hey, yo.
So, you're so distracting you, bro. In that section. I just want to double check. So, do you prefer somewhere more active or do you prefer food?
Say again?
Oh, I think this is Jim's. Is it Jim's?
Oh, it's Jim's.
Yeah, I'm saying Esther, do you prefer active or like food?
Man came. Wait, hold on. Let's actually let's recognize that he called on air to ask you out. Let's just make that clear.
From the vibe, more active food. What are you feeling? Food, yeah?
Is that what he said, right?
He said active or food.
Yeah, something more active or
both. No, do something active to go for food after.
I don't feel like active though, because it's like I feel like it breaks the tension. Not tension, but do you know what I mean? Like you get to know each other a bit more. What you're like. Let's go for active. I don't really want to be wearing heels anyway at the moment. Yeah.
No, I don't mind. You send back to your team.
What's that?
I'll DM you after, yeah?
All right then. It's energy.
In terms of active dates, what are you saying? Like a top golf, like a young rock climbing?
I'm not climbing no rocks.
Like an arcade?
Excuse me. Is he on the phone?
No, not rock climbing. No, indoor rock climbing.
Is he gone?
No, he's gone.
Indoor.
But he's listening.
Take me rock climbing.
Indoor rock climbing.
No, it just feels very... Nah, man.
What about What about Go Ape?
Is that the driving one?
No, it's like
What's that?
It's like an obstacle and there's like a zip line and you climb and
that's too active.
That's a lot, Jamie. I don't want to be sweating on a date.
You just want a little.
I'm trying to maintain cuteness,
like golf thing,
you bowling, like Jamie, something light. I'm trying to maintain.
Yeah, but why is he
cuteness.
asking? Because the thing is, I'm assuming that if you went on an active date, you want to eat too, right?
Yeah.
So to me, these two things are combined.
No, but you know, like sometimes you can go on a
Unless
food
it's
date
like
and
a
it's just dinner.
food date where it's dinner.
Yeah.
So if it's an active date, it comes to food now.
He's got to feed me. That's way to my heart. You cannot feed me.
If you guys went home after the active date, how do you feel about that?
What's going on here? Excuse me. They get active. I'm playing. Yeah.
One quickly, super chat from Chia Joke. Brent, why is my thing sound so loud? Can we get some horns for the first successful shooting the shot in the chat? So he's basically talking to his Igor brother came correct. Esther, please let us know how it goes on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You are assuming I'm free this weekend.
Tuesday.
Why are you assuming it's happening on Tuesday?
That's what I'm saying. Your Chijoke knows everything though. So
You got in trouble last time. What you do?
I wasn't joking. Chijoke is my guy.
Chijoke came back today because you called about yesterday. So where's Chijoke?
Chijoke knows I'm joking, man. I like
when it happens, though, I'll let you guys know. But obviously, I can't talk too much. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. A woman, you know, what's the thing?
Hold on, but what are your credentials? You haven't even asked any questions. Like, you want to know how tall he is? You want to know?
We'll find on the date.
He
gives me the right.
Okay. Oh, are you willing to go in blind? Just off of this pic?
Oh, is that little thumbnail?
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously I'll share my location with Brent.
To be honest,
safety first,
he's
baby.
actually said he's a Christian.
Exactly. I've heard the way he was talking about God.
Yeah. He likes me.
He likes Brent.
Which is a good thing, right?
Because remember what I told you about my next man?
This is it. And he's willing to put money towards this cause that you were obviously
I'm
supporting you already.
Also, stop putting money. Save the money for the date now.
No.
I'm joking.
Brent said the new black baby.
As Esther says, looks like he has money to spend around. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give us bring both of you come on the show?
No. Are you alright?
Gotta protect the stuff that Come on.
You come in, you're like, no, both
No, but it started here. Might as well continue here.
No.
No?
The most I think I'll do giveaway for my wedding invitation.
You asked him his age?
He's 27.
Okay. Oh, younger than... Oh.
He's a year younger than me, yeah.
Sorry.
But it depends when he's turning 28. But he sounds mature, that's what it was. Because I like certain type.
Yeah.
What?
What happened?
Are you sick? You better close your damn mouth.
But I just read a message. I'm
good.
giggling for that.
But no, he sounds mature and it sounds like good vibes.
Okay.
Who keeps calling?
England's line to go home.
Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Hello, this is CDA. It's me, Veronica.
Oh, this is CDA, yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good morning, guys. You don't remember me. It's Veronica. Brute force?
Yes, Veronica's brute force, not Valerie.
Oh,
yes.
You've been giving the wrong
Yo,
person.
shout out to Valerie, man. She on that bandwagon. Shout out to her.
She's a thief.
She can own it. She has never once corrected us.
Innit?
No, it's all right, guys. It's all love, man. It's all love. I love the show today. You got off the chain, and I digested this whole situation with the nurse.
Oh yeah.
And it's troubling, right? But I don't know. I want to come in a more humble perspective because I always pray for that humility.
Okay.
And basically, like all God's children, okay, and that also includes the brute, the bigot, and the batterer. We are all God's children. So whether they know it or not, we're supposed to treat them accordingly. And it's hard. It's hard because even I blow it all the time. Because there was a question where on the chat down, should we bring back like lawful killing? You know, I can't remember the term.
Yeah,
I disagreed with that, but I was so shocked that more people want that to come back, and that's quite concerning. Because if we look at nature, no one has the right to say someone killed, and I understand the crime is heinous, disgusting. Because we can't even imagine what the family's going through.
the friends of those babies. It's crazy. But there's a statement from Terence, and he was like an enslaved Northern African man that was brought to Rome many, many years. I can't remember the years, but 1200 century. And this statement, he said, I am a human being. Nothing human can be alien to me. Then I had to kind of like internalize that. And the portion of that be, no matter what that person has done, no matter, even if that act is heinous, and it's really touched me, the story, because I could see her picture everywhere on the billboard, and it's creepy. It's like a horror movie. Even though this human being done that, that also means that we have those components. In her can also be in me, right? However, for a higher conscious, our subconscious, because we are on the conscious level, we have to dig deep. We have to tend to use our energies constructively as opposed to destructively. So when we agree on killing, that's destructive, right? Because we're not using energies constructively. So if we can do that about the negative, just think about what we can do about the positive. So
Monica, can I ask
my
you,
sisters and brothers, my sisters and brothers, they're listening. We are people of a conscious community. We are more moral and we're more compassionate. Let's not forget our roots, our ancestry roots. So we have to stretch ourselves internally. Always remember, no matter how heinous that crime, that is a human being. I'm a human being, nothing human. Because what she did is inhumane. Yeah, but still, it's not alien to me because we see it every day, people doing this horrendous thing every single day.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right, but on a note, in regards to the man who's mentioned about losing his virginity, I just want to give him a little advice. Go and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and there's an episode about him losing his virginity.
The new one.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. There's a scene. Yeah, there's a scene where he goes to a hotel room with the lady. I remember she was very beautiful. She had long black hair like Pocahontas. She was bad. Even Carlton believed that he bagged her. But there was a part Carlton said, "Can I give you this goodbye?" And then she said, "Yes, tomorrow morning."
Oh yeah.
To the young boy. Yeah. To him, look forward to it. Lose virginity is part of nature's course. That's what we do as human beings. We're going to mate. It's natural to lose virginity. But even with Kevin, because I know the last time I mentioned his name, me and him, we could agree to disagree, but I kind of agreed with him. He's got to be careful. Don't fall for the girl, because she might turn around and say to you, "Is what it is." Because having sex is part of nature's course. Why so quiet? I'm not trying to.
We're just taking everything in. You know what I mean? We're just taking everything you're saying in.
Thank you so much for the call.
But thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right. No.
Essentially, Veronica, each time it is that we move on to a segment, we've kind of cast the other segment behind us. And this particular topic was a bit triggering for people, and I had told them that they should go away whilst we were talking about it and come back when we had finished, and we had already gone past that, but I didn't put up any sort of graphics to say that this caller was about to start talking about it again. Do you understand?
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
No worries.
Thank you very much for the
next time,
and we appreciate your call.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, and please put down Veronica. I don't want no forces associated with me. That's for the average male. That's for the average male, not me. Thank you, guys. Shout out to all of you.
Love you.
Thank you. Take care.
Sure.
Bye.
All right.
Rotating, are we?
Yeah, no, that's the end of the rotation.
All right, love that.
In the rotation, man. So we're moving on to the reaction. All right, let me start off a bit different today. So the athletics, how do you pronounce her name? Sha'Carri Richardson?
Sha'Carri Richardson, baby.
Sha'Carri Richardson wins the women's 100 meters final.
Big up her, man.
Obviously, she had her whole controversy before with the weed gate, the weed scandal, right? She broke the record for the fastest ever women's 100-meter run at a world championship track meet with a time of 10:65.
She did that clean. I saw the video of it. It looks really sick.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
I'm looking for the video. I can't find it.
I'm happy she came back. I sent it to her Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm happy she came back correct.
So yeah. All right. There was one Premiership game yesterday. Let's get into that. My boys Arsenal got a 1-0 win at Crystal Palace. All right. Let's see who's that.
You are calling today, innit?
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
You say no.
Hey, real quick. It's Stacey.
Oh.
Real quick, Brent, you should drop like a note in the chat. I don't know if you care to pin it, but like when we watch, it's super delayed, like quite delayed. So if you drop a note in the chat, let people know, oh, we're transitioning into the next whatever, then they know not to call, and then it doesn't have that weird. Like obviously Veronica was very late, but that might be a cool
the delay is
suggestion.
like 10 seconds. It's not a whole 20 minutes.
Nah, it's like 25 seconds.
But it's still not 20 minutes. It's still definitely not 20 minutes.
That's not. I agree with saying I've done it where like y'all are at the end and and it's like okay, now we pushing it. So that might be a little suggestion. That's all.
Stacey, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacey.
Bills.
I just saw the race. It looked tight.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looked tight. Brent, you watched the game yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
What's your thoughts?
Rice.
Rice looked good, didn't it?
Rice.
He looked good.
Rice.
His ball distribution was good. Pinging a lot of long balls, especially over to Martinelli. I like that.
Rice.
Defensively was sound.
Nketiah.
Should have scored a second chance. Should have. Who in their right mind tries to lob the keeper from that close?
Guy with a lot of confidence.
I don't want to hear that. Correct decision making. Big man, slot that ball, just bang it, bruv. Like, why do you go to lob from that close range? That was stupidity. The first chance, I like the run he made, hit the post, unlucky, and obviously he won us the penalty, so I can't be too mad at him. But that second chance, it really irritated me.
Penalty was slotted in nicely. I want Odegaard to be taking off penalty.
Thoughts on the fact that Saka's essentially been taken off penalties?
I have the problem with that.
Same. When I saw the penalty, I thought, because obviously Saka's had a few misses lately. I was thinking, is he going to take it? He's not going to take it yet. But Odegaard slotted it home. Tomiyasu should not have received the second yellow for that. Okay. That's terrible, but you can't overturn second yellows. So that couldn't have gone to VAR. That's annoying now. So he misses the next game. But luckily Zinchenko's back, so he can take his place. How do you feel about us ending the game with almost every defender we have on the pitch? Do you know how we ended the game?
I don't have a problem with that.
No, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And it shows the strength we have in depth.
Yeah.
Man brought on the cavalry.
Yeah.
Like Jorginho, Zinchenko, Kivior, Partey was why everyone was on. I think it was only Havertz was the only attacking player on the pitch towards the end of the game. You know what I mean?
Gabriel played well when Izzy came on.
Yeah, Gabriel played well. What's your thoughts on Gabriel not starting the last 2 games?
I'm still wondering what it is. I don't know if it's...
There's Saudi rumours.
Yeah.
But a statement came out yesterday saying that Arsenal have no intention of selling him. This is from Fabrizio. But there is interest from Saudi.
Yeah.
There is solid interest. So maybe it's a case of the money they're offering is turning his head, and there's discussion between his team and the Saudi team. But also people are saying that Arteta just is trying something new, because obviously he's putting Partey at right back. And if Partey wasn't playing right back, Ben White would be right back, and then Gabriel would be next to Saliba. So it might just be Arteta trying a new system, or there might be genuineness in... I don't want to believe that Gabriel wants to go, but maybe he's just entertaining the discussion. I don't know. Are you impressed with what you've seen thus far this season? I know it's early, it's only been 2 games. Obviously, last season we started off great, but with no expectations. This season, there's been high expectations, but we're starting off a little... We've had 2 wins, so I can't complain, but the manner in which we've won these games hasn't really been convincing. And I would prefer us to start slow and get a bit as the season increases, as opposed to last season when we started great and then fumbled at the end. So it's not panic stations at all, but what's your thoughts on how we started?
I do believe if the factors were the same as last season,
it
started better.
Okay.
Factors being, where's Jesus?
Jesus, yeah.
Right? Even Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Us playing Havertz where... Because I think what Arteta's looking to do is to basically give him as much time as possible so he basically gets to know his teammates and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm also seeing Brighton, I'm seeing Newcastle, I'm seeing Man City, I'm seeing Tottenham. I'm seeing these teams playing well.
Yeah.
So the fact that it is that we've marked 2 wins. That game yesterday was not an easy game.
Yeah.
I am happy that we've started with 2 wins, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, obviously.
And I'm still seeing periods of play that he's cooking. Like Rice, I am so happy now that I've seen something from Rice. Let's build on this particular.
Yeah.
So far, so good for me.
I
don't have any complaints. I really don't. Because of the factors that in front of us.
Yeah, I haven't really got any complaints. I would have.
Just imagine Timber didn't get injured.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been a different game.
Yeah, it would have been great.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. It's okay, calling back.
Who's this?
It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I just wanted to, because I know sometimes when we get onto Arsenal, we can take a bit of time. I don't know if we're going to talk about the athletics as well that happened.
I spoke about the athletics. Well, I'm not sure what athletics you're referring to, but I did start with.
No, I wasn't sure. Sorry, so you mentioned Shaqiri. Gold.
Yeah. That was the first thing I mentioned.
Right, okay, cool. So we're just sticking to for now.
No, talk to us.
Yeah, no, go on.
Sure.
No. I was obviously saying it was a big moment for her because a lot of people were on her neck saying that she's never going to be that top girl anymore. I think that was one of the that I think I was happy for her, but I was obviously a bit sad for Shellyanne because obviously the record what I wanted to do because that girl always turns big moments.
Yeah.
Fantastic race. Loved it.
I didn't see it.
I don't really have any
do you want
connection to this girl, to be honest.
Do you want the video to put up? Or no?
Would you like to see the video?
No, she don't.
What would you like to see? You've seen it already.
Huh? Yeah, no. If you want to put it up, you can put it up because I just know sometimes in the chat, especially when you two get on the Arsenal talk, and like, Arsenal again, and I'm like,
young man. Why are you?
Brent, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to talk for the people.
Brent,
we were wrapping it up just now, you know.
Yeah, I've sent you the video.
Sorry. I might be behind. As well. I might be behind.
I'll put the video up for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call.
Yes.
I always appreciate you. Your voice and thing, get me.
Are you sure, Brent? Are you sure you agree with me?
Don't.
Yeah.
Send it to my Instagram.
Yes. No. WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't have the WhatsApp on this computer.
Oh, 1 second. The new black.
Whoever was calling.
Oh, the day after. Sorry.
Whoever was calling just now, you can call again.
Yeah, I said into the day after. All right, while you're waiting for that, Jeremy Doku, Manchester City agree a 55 million deal to sign. He's a winger, I believe. Rennes winger. The Belgium international has been linked with a number of Premier League teams this summer and is now set to join the champions. Man City are looking for a winger to replace Riyad Mahrez, who left for Saudi Arabia in the wake of City's treble-winning season. Should Doku complete the move to the Etihad Stadium, he will become Pep's third summer signing. After Mateo Kovacic and Josko Garbadio. I'm sure that's how you pronounce his name. All right, last headline, probably the most contentious one. So Mason Greenwood is set to leave Man United. Greenwood will be leaving the club following an internal investigation into the allegations of attempted rape. Trigger warning. Trigger warning, sorry. Allegations of attempted rape, controlling and coercive behaviour and assault against him. The 21-year-old has been suspended from Man United training and matches while the club completed an internal investigation after the Crown Prosecution Service discontinued its case against Greenwood. In a statement in February, the CPS said, in this case, a combination of the withdrawal of key witnesses and new material that came to light meant there was no longer a realistic prospect of conviction. In a statement, the club said, all those involved, including Mason, recognised the difficulties with him recommencing his career at Man United. It has therefore been mutually agreed that it would be most appropriate for him to do so away from Old Trafford. And we will now work with Mason to achieve that outcome. The statement also said, based on the evidence available to us, we have concluded that the material posted online did not provide a full picture and that Mason did not commit the offences in respect of which he was originally charged. That said, as Mason publicly acknowledges today, he has made the mistakes which he's responsible for. So, yeah, Mason Greenwood is no longer a Man United player.
Will he be picked up by someone else, or is it like, do you reckon his career is done?
I think he's still got a career somewhere. I'm not sure where. I don't think he'll be at one of Europe's top clubs. Really? Maybe Saudi. Maybe I heard before there was interest from Turkey, like a Galatasaray or one of them ones. Brent, what do you think about this? We touched on it yesterday or last week, right? It was last week. Yeah, we touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I'm also still waiting for our number 5. So,
as in, you're waiting for what exactly?
See what happens with him.
I don't think anything's coming. I think with his case, I think it's been done.
I think they made the right decision, Man United.
Yeah.
I think that they tried to package it so that he can or could come back. But obviously the court of social opinion said, nah, it's not running, sorry.
Yeah.
And then they just said, all right, cool, sorry.
Yeah.
Gone. I don't know if he could go anywhere else. He probably will though. They are going to make money from his signing. I don't know if it is that people are going to get onto them for that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
I guess.
But also the statement, it was kind of like basically saying that there isn't sufficient evidence, right? And there was withdrawal of witnesses, da, da, da. So it seems like they're just saying, based on the optics of this, he has to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did it make, like, branding-wise, did it make them look a certain way? Do people care?
I think they cared. That's probably why he got suspended. But, you know, with these situations, right, optics make it worse.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why the party thing has not been, you know, dragged through the ring as much as this, because with this one, there's actual visual evidence, there's optics, besides, obviously, party's messages. When you actually see videos and pictures of, you know, of situation, it makes it worse, isn't it? And I feel like Man United had to act, right?
I think in a statement they said that after reviewing all of the evidence, especially the evidence that wasn't in the public eye, they found him innocent of what he was accused of.
Yeah.
And that I thought was like, wow, Man United actually, you know, put it out there. But that wasn't enough for everybody. And I felt that their fans, or the majority of their fans, or some of them, decided, why are they even suggesting that he was innocent?
Yeah.
He is innocent. Don't put that to us.
Yeah, the last paragraph basically says that he's innocent.
So then why did they fire him then?
I think it's because of the optics. It's because
were people boycotting the matches? Were people not going, like, do you know what I mean?
But they also don't believe Man United.
Okay, the fans don't believe.
They don't believe
that they saw anything different to what we've seen.
I don't know if it is that I think they just don't believe that he's innocent.
Okay.
And they don't believe that what they've now seen gave them. Okay, sorry. Good morning.
Why are you thinking twice about it?
Yo, good morning, people. What's on?
Morning. Who's this?
It's the Ghost of Koi.
Oh, morning.
So what I'm saying.
What's going on?
Yeah, I ain't in a minute, and that. So I have a few things to say on the main Greenwood topic.
All right.
Go.
And the what?
Yeah, so obviously United supporter as well. Yeah. So like this situation, when it comes to Greenwood, I feel like the way the club has sort of phrased the statement of like, oh, he's guilty of what he's been accused of, they could easily have come up with a story to say like, oh, it's just
how they are, innit? Like it's kind of like what is it? Like role play or something like that. You know what I mean? And if she sticks to that story, they can't actually say whether it's like true or not. That it's the way that it seemed. Because if they have evidence of like, oh, this is just the thing that we do, then they can carry it off in that way. But obviously, it has no obligation to release the other evidence. The other evidence cleared them. Why wouldn't you just release it to the public? You get what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so ultimately...
So I think they're just basically...
Go on.
No, that's what I was saying. I think they're basically just playing them. They wanted to bring him back. The backlash was too much, so they just kind of like, you just agreed to like... terminate.
That's kind of how I see it. I see it as, from the statement, it feels like they believe that, you know, he didn't do what he's been accused of, but because of what it will look like, they've decided to let him go, essentially. In your opinion, is that the right choice?
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's like, oh, United did the right thing. And he did it because their hands were tied. They wanted to bring him back. Because even like those reports, Ten Hag even that he wants another forward before summer's over. But we've got issues with FFP. We can't sign new players unless we sell the players who we want. So like Maguire staying, Tomine staying, no one wants to buy Van der Beek. So technically we can't buy one. So the only other option would be to bring him back. So that's kind of tired. But yeah, they couldn't stay it, man. That would have been crazy. Everyone heard the recordings. Everyone's seen the transcript. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
You can't make that out to be what it wasn't. You get what I
mean? Yeah. And the withdrawal of evidence, that was the woman in question, right? She kind of, did she recant her statements and she dropped the charges, right?
I don't know if she recanted her statements, but see, if for cases when it comes to like and like assault and that, if they don't have evidence, they can't really through with it because they need someone to like be able to say it was him that did it, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a voice on the phone. Like, how can you prove that is Greenwood?
Okay, that's true.
You get what I mean? Like, even in the recording, she say his name, but it's nothing. It's not enough in it. Otherwise, it's a waste of time for everyone. So if she's decided to forgive, there's nothing the law can technically.
I'm not sure if that's a line or you stop talking.
Yeah, the line's breaking.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh yeah, no, man. I hear your perspective, man. Well, I guess it's case closed on that, innit? We'll just see where he lands.
Yeah.
We'll see where he lands next.
And I don't know if he'll end up at because they're trying to change their like brand image. Like I'm not sure they want to add Greenwood to like the whole thing of what they're trying to do.
Who? Oh, is it? Okay, cool. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? It's not good to be taking like him at this point. He might go somewhere else. Like everyone keeps saying, I don't know why, but he might go somewhere like a lower legal sign, ball out a bit, and then wait the dust settles, and then move there or sign up. But yeah, I don't think Saudi is like the new for him.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, if you talk about like ethics and ethical and morality, most probably not.
Yeah. It's too. The media's already trying to get onto them already, so they're not really on that.
I hear that.
I'll just leave it at that, man. I'll let you lot finish up. You know, I've been there for like 5 hours. So.
Yeah, we definitely have it. All right, appreciate it, bro. Thanks for the call.
All right, cool. No problem.
But yeah, man, that's what I got for you guys, man. Let's head to the outro. It's been a long day.
Have you peeped? You've been doing overtime since you had the pictures up.
Oh yeah, last 2 days has been
defo
record times. It's a good thing I got fairly free-ish week. I would have left ages ago.
I was gonna say it's a good thing. The game is just for this week because I'm tired. But thank you guys as always for tuning in. I feel like the vibes have been vibing.
This has been a good week, man.
This has been a good week. It's only Tuesday.
It's only been 2 days.
It's only been 2 days. Our community's lit. So big up you guys. Big up yourselves. Please like the video as well. I feel like all that banter and such. Yeah. People are forgetting to like the video.
But to be fair, right, we shouldn't look to stop this. Obviously, regulate it to a degree. Like, 'cause I'm not saying we should be here. I'm not saying we should be here until 12 every day. But if we've discovered something good, we shouldn't now suddenly stop it and go back to status quo.
No, but you know what I'm thinking though? I'm not in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't see people going back to non-pictures.
Same.
It wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because the vibes are legit. We've even got people who watch the show who have never been in the chat, now in the chat because... Do you know what I mean? So in my mind, we will have to tap out on our spanner works. But the marathon continues.
We can carry on to a degree, no? I think we should keep everything as it is, but just obviously just be more time conscious and regulate.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we've stumbled on a good thing.
On a good thing. It's been really, really good vibes, man. I've really enjoyed this week so far.
Super chats are coming in now.
Dates are being
arranged.
It's a whole thing.
It's good, man.
Love to see it, man. So big up you guys, big up yourselves. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Follow us on our social media platforms, The Day After TNB on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, if you want to send your dilemmas in, the number is 075-6484-1073. If you would like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, our email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Goodbye.